Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another session of the Cavendish collection, Call of Cthulhu, little kind of disjointed series of onesie-twosie stories that we tell, set in the lovely little burg of Arkham, Massachusetts in 1920-something. Hey, before we get into tonight's completely improvised story, why don't we do the thing where we introduce ourselves and say a little bit about our character? Hey, let's start with you, villain.
I am villain, or your only villain. I am playing John Doe. Is that his real name? We don't know.
It isn't.
So he is a burglar. Kind of been partnering up with Maurice down here, Shanks, the last few times. Kind of been a sidekick to him for the most part. More or less, just kind of running through the daily life. Not really a whole lot going on for the most part. Pretty much about it. Shanks.
Hello, I'm the Shanks Master General, playing Maurice Church. He is a what religion was he again? He's a Quaker.
Quaker.
That's it. He's a Quaker. He's a auto mechanic. He drives a taxi. He's all around a nice guy. He almost dies nearly every episode he participates in, except for the last episode where he almost made somebody else die because he went insane. Was trying to save his mother. He has a complex now because he's insane now, and someone tried to stop him. That was John Doe, and he got clocked for max damage. Anyways, let's put it over to Mel.
Yeah, I'm Mel. I'll be playing Mrs. Fung, who is an antiques dealer who is also involved in black market dealings, and is new to this story, so no further preamble. Misha.
Hi, I'm Misha. I'll be playing Eloise Page. She's a nurse. She's nosy. She's indefinitely insane. Really easily swayed. Has a thing about eggs and jewelry. Is definitely not keeping an insane man in the basement of the assistant professor's house for later use and study. I think that's where we're at. No one knows about that. It's a good secret.
I mean, the good news is he's not a man anymore.
Yeah, that's true also. It's some sort of weird creature. But he lives in the basement and we feed him raw meat.
Yeah.
Normal.
Yeah. So,
Normal.
It's fine. It's fine.
Anything between consenting adults.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Eloise works at Miskatonic University. Ms. Fung runs her own antique store. And Maurice works at Miskatonic Taxi. Mm-hmm. As a kind of mechanic and driver and all in all kind of handyman, and has gotten John, who is a drifter, a job there as well.
John's been on medical leave, unfortunately.
Yeah, something happened. He fell. He got a perfect fish shape impression in his jaw.
Yes.
He might have spent 2 weeks in the hospital.
He might have been reliving the same punch to the face over a million times, but we don't know that.
Who knows? All right. So it is a lovely, I don't know, early fall morning in kind of lovely kind of northish eastern Massachusetts. Air is crisp. The leaves are just starting to turn, and it is very wet. So kind of some of the early leaves were knocked off by a very powerful storm last night. I think those of you who have indefinite insanity, untreated mental illness, probably felt a little unsettled. It's one of those storms that, sort of, there wasn't a lot of advance notice, probably kind of gathered and blew in from the Atlantic really quickly. It carried with it a strange sea smell, but not the nice, clean smell of sea air, but something darker and deeper and foul underneath it. Lots and lots of lightning. There were a few lightning strikes, electricity was down. So everyone's just, feeling a little bit out of sorts. But when you cast open your shutters in the morning, or you step outside to pick up the soggy paper, high scudding clouds, beautiful blue sky, a little bit chill, but already starting to warm from the sun. And everything seems fine. So let's pick up with Eloise. Eloise, you make your way to your office. And as you are getting near the office, you hear the phone ringing on the inside. And maybe you pick up your steps a little bit, white nurse's shoes kind of screeching on the floor as you accelerate. But you're close enough that you can hear someone else pick up the phone saying, "Nurse's office. Who is this? This is probably a professor or other member of staff. Someone maybe we haven't met before."
Let's go with another member of the staff. It's the doctor who works here at the university. He's like a part-time, like he teaches part-time, so he's usually not back in the office, but if anything is too hard for me, he'll stop by. I will listen at the door.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a listen.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, all right. An 80 over 46. So
yeah,
annoying.
It's the squeaking of your shoes that overcomes it. And he's also being very quiet. I think you hear like some very low mumbling, like maybe almost like this is the 20s. Like typically when folks are on the phone, they tend to shout whether it's needed or not. And you hear a kind of just very low voice. And you hear the clank as the phone is replaced on the receiver.
Yeah. Act cool and open the door and go like, "Oh, doctor, I didn't expect you in the office this morning."
He will whirl around. He had his back to you because he had kind of reached over the front of your desk to pick up the phone. So he had been standing with his back to the door. He whirls around and looks at you, seeming rather out of sorts. Nurse Page, I was simply looking for some patient records. We'll say this is Dr. Greaves.
Patient records. Well, those are over there in the cabinet. Over there. Did I hear you answer the phone? Was it for me?
No. I don't know what you mean. You must have misheard.
Oh, I thought I heard a phone ringing, but I was so far down the hallway. You know how long the hallways are. Anyway, what patient's information do you need? I can get that for you right away, sir.
Yeah, he'll give you a set of names.
Yeah.
And basically, anyone who has received kind of treatment in the past week or so, but he's got a couple of names. Actually, why don't you just make copies and send them to my private practice office?
Oh, yes, of course. Is there anything that we should be worried about? Were these patients in particular, something going around? It didn't nothing seemed unusual to me. Oh, except the storm last night. Wasn't that just terrible weather?
I was in bed early and I sleep very soundly.
Oh,
I missed it.
You must sleep very soundly indeed. There was a lot of thunder.
I don't have time to sit around and chatter, Nurse Page. I have my rounds
I mustn't keep you then.
Yes. But if any of the students or faculty come in with injuries, I would appreciate it and then he will hand you a little stack of cards. with his private practice. Now he does probably is like an adjunct professor of biology or something. So he does have a teaching gig, but he maintains a general practice in town. You could make a psychology if you wanted to know what's up.
I'm very nosy, but at this point I'm thinking about the storm, I think, because I got an 81 over 47.
Don't know. He just wants you to give cards
Who
to
knows?
anyone who's ill or injured.
Think of all the upgrading you'll be doing.
Yeah, I know, right? We're listening and we're not learning.
Yes.
All right, well, if you want to stop by anytime, I'll be here. I'll be sure to hand out these cards if anyone stops by. It's been so lovely catching up with you, Doctor.
So he will turn. Go ahead.
I assume that he's already left by the time I'm saying all these things.
Yeah, he picks up his hat. He had tossed his hat onto the chair that kind of faces your desk. So he pops his hat on. Milady, he doesn't do that. Kind of pops his hat on his head and turns and walks out. He does pause very briefly, sort of in the doorway. And then you see him just kind of shake his head and walk down the hallway out of your office.
All right. I'm going to keep going through the files for a second till I can't hear his footsteps anymore.
Okay.
And then I'm going to go over to the phone and dial the operator. And then just be like, operator, hello?
Hello?
Yes, there was a call that was just placed through here. Could you connect me back to who had called? Do you know where that came from?
Is this Arkham 057?
Yes, it is.
Well, honey, I haven't placed a call to you in a little bit. Are you sure?
Oh, I could have sworn. Well, thank you very much for all your help.
Well, hold on 1 second. Mabel, have you connected anyone to Arkham 057? No, Mabel hasn't either. We're the only two that are on staff today. Some of the phone lines are down.
Oh, really? From the storm. Terrible weather, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. It sure was.
I'll keep talking about the weather
yeah.
for as long as she will. Okay, so we do that.
I heard Mrs. Smith's Cabbage Patch got completely ruined. So you spent 30 minutes.
Completely ruined. Yeah, 30 minutes of that.
Just chattering with the switchboard girl. Okay, cool. All right. Maurice.
Yes.
I assume you and John arrive at work.
While I'm visiting, I thought okay.
Well, you can do whatever you want.
John. I thought I would pick up John from the hospital or something to that effect.
Okay.
Just because I do feel bad, and I do want to help because that's kind of how that kind of crazy I am.
Cool. So, John, you just got your jaw unwired.
So I do have one question. Do we remember the time loop? Do we remember him punching me?
I don't know.
I think we should probably remember, even if details are sucked out of us at times.
Just kind of fuzzy, just kind of certain things. Like, okay, that's fine. I just want to make sure that we understand.
I brought you to the hospital, and then there was an indentation in your jaw that fit my fist.
Yeah, and your knuckles hurt. You're all bloody. Yeah. Okay.
Just like, anyways, I'm waiting my vehicle, waiting for John.
Cool. So yeah, John, you have been discharged. You're still a little bit sore, but and have been urged not to crack any walnuts with your teeth for at least a couple of weeks while your jaw continues to knit together. But otherwise, you're fine. You've been on solid food for a couple of days.
I would probably go find Maurice's car, knowing that he's probably going to pick me up at this point, and then hop in and be like, Maurice, so why did you punch me?
I don't. It's hard to say, man. Like, I think it had something to do with my mother somehow.
I would never insult your mother.
No, you weren't insulting my mother. I don't know, man. I think I just had like a what do you call it? I don't know. Some of my friends from that were in the military that were in the armed forces, they just kind of have these episodes where they just lash out against their friends and stuff like that. So maybe that's what I was doing.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
It's probably, hopefully, it's not something that comes up a lot.
Yeah, I agree. Because I don't want to be on the receiving end of that again. That
No,
hurt.
Yeah,
For
sorry
2
about
weeks,
that.
it hurt.
I feel pretty terrible about it. I'm sorry. I
All right. Well,
apologize. But
oh,
yeah, should I take you home or where do you want to go?
well, I don't really have anything really planned. I mean, is there anything to do?
I'd like to drive you around somewhere. Maybe you have something to do, some business of some sort.
You know what? There's a really good restaurant down the street that I've been craving for the last like week and a half because I've
Okay.
really been on solid food. So let's go down there. It's next to this antique store actually that I know about. Maybe we can go in there and maybe check out some things.
All right, let's go do that.
Cool.
All right.
So you head down, I don't know, Poplar Street or something to where there's a good little diner that you know. Now that you're back on solid food, John, I think you're probably, anxious for some biscuits and gravy or, well, lobster roll or whatever Massachusetts would have.
A real good cheeseburger.
Yeah.
Bacon and
So yes, you are driving down the street. Hey, Maurice, would you
Yes.
like to give me a drive? Actually, would you like to
probably
give me a
could.
hard drive?
Hard drive auto? That's 7. We're looking for a 35 or lower.
that different than a solid state?
That's a 45. That is not lower.
Cool. You want to spend
Uh,
10 points of luck?
I don't want to do that. What's the likelihood that I could actually do? You know what? I'm going to leave it.
Okay. Okay.
And crash into this tree, this poplar tree or something.
No, it's not a tree. As you are approaching, coincidentally, right in front of Mrs. Fung's antique store, someone, a man, comes dashing out of one of the offices across the street, directly in front of your car, and you hit him.
Oh, oh no. This is
Oh,
not going
my.
to help my stress. Anyways, I'm going to tick failed and just put a cross next to that.
So I think Mrs.
I think
Fung.
I'm firmly in the failure section of this.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think Mrs. Fung, John, and Maurice are right there to witness. So I think you all need to give me a sanity check as you watch someone get killed.
What is my sanity right now? Is that a 1 or a 7? No, that's a 9. Nice. 19.
Which is a success.
A major success.
Cool.
If there was such a thing with sanity.
I rolled a 75. My
it's-
sanity 70.
So 75 over 70. So that's a fail.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Way
Starting strong.
good way to start. How about you, John?
I got a 70 over 48.
Okay,
So,
so
it's also a fail.
So John and Maurice are obviously, I mean, shaken and upset, but don't lose any sanity. Maybe because you have experienced. Go ahead.
I failed.
Oh.
I failed.
Okay. I listened to your words and then said the exact opposite immediately. I failed my own sanity check. Cool. So Maurice takes none. John and Mrs. Fung take 2. Maybe Maurice, you close your eyes or something like that. You don't like really see the moment of impact, but Mrs. Fung and John do. Now, Mrs. Fung, would you also give me a spot hidden?
Sorry, I what?
Spot hidden. Oh, no. Yes. That's it, right? Am I making this up?
There is spot hidden.
Spot.
Yes.
Yes.
Spot hidden. Thank you. I was just not hearing
Yes.
the word.
It came out as like pot hidden or something like
Oh,
that.
I mean, maybe it's my
Yeah.
DSR is too strong. Spot hidden.
Oh, there it is.
15 under 55.
which is at least a hard success, right?
Um,
Mm, yes,
the
it's always
yes.
Okay. So with a hard success, I think so. There's an accountancy office across the street, and these are people that you probably know. Like maybe they handle your books, or at least the one set of books that you share with the revenue. And you know, one of the accountants that works there. His name is Tim Nielsen. Someone write that down. So when I ask in 5 minutes the name, you'll know what it is. So Tim Nielsen is a 30-something single, kind of a nebbishy guy. He is from Providence, and like maybe came up here to go to school and then never returned home. So I mean, you've exchanged words. Not the most sociable fellow, but very solid. Also, not very creative or suspicious, which is good because that means that when he handles your books, he doesn't worry. As long as the maths, he doesn't worry about anything else. So you saw him moments ago, kind of like running toward the office, and kind of like really quickly opening up with a key. I mean, it's still kind of early-ish morning and the office hadn't been opened yet. And you saw him step forward to one of the desks there in the little workspace. The door open, and you saw him like rush and lunge to grab a phone. And you marked it because, he's maybe like 10 minutes late to open the office. So he was obviously in a rush. And you kind of, just as you're, dusting counters and things like that, you recall seeing him standing there. And then he just kind of let the phone drop and stood there kind of swaying a little bit, kind of close enough to the doorway that you could get a good look. And it kind of is like, I wonder, I hope it's not bad news, just like in the back of your mind. And then you saw him turn and then look up the street and then run beeline straight into a car coming down the street, and then his body impact, it flew probably 10 feet. So now you're all together in the street. What happens?
I would probably, seeing as my previous job was my previous experience as a ambulance driver, I would probably try to get that, then tend to him as best as I can. I was a driver, not an EMT or whatever the equivalent is of this time, but I try to do my best to help him.
Cool. You want to give me a medicine?
Oh yeah, it's terrible, but here we go.
I would say John would probably get out and try to help Maurice for the most part.
Medicine is 1.
Oh.
Would it be first aid instead of medicine?
No. It would be first aid if he was alive.
Oh,
You can't first aid a corpse.
Quite.
Here we go. 1 in 100.
So
28 over 1.
okay.
It's like live.
Yeah. You.
Oh boy, I've learned medicine. I'm gonna learn some medicine later.
Like maybe at first you think that he's still alive, but it because of the failure. I think it takes a few moments for you to realize that he has expired. What are John and Mrs. Fung doing?
Spiraling.
I think Mrs. Fung, she witnessed this from her shop. I think her first reaction was to, come out and see if there's any way to help. But I think she sort of observes this failed attempt at life-saving action, and is just like sort of processing that there's already nothing to do to help Tim. I think Tim is who we named him. Yes, to help Tim. her second reaction is going to be going back into her shop to call the authorities because she just witnesses a car accident, and that seems like a reasonable thing to report.
Yes. So you see these two gentlemen, and you probably, well, I guess you would recognize John from your
Yes.
shadowy meetings, and you probably also know Maurice. And like anyone who's taken a cab around town knows Maurice. So you maybe don't know well both of them, but you know their names. You know them to nod to at least, or to conduct black market business with. So you head back kind of behind the big display counter with some of the like antique jewelry and things like that, and pull up the phone. You hear, give me a listen, roll.
Hmm. That would be a 23 over 20.
Oh,
Cool. You pick up the phone. You hear a strange kind of clicking or clicking and hissing simultaneously. It's somewhat rhythmic. But you don't really remark it. You just kind of, tap your finger on the little cradle, and then you get a clear line. And I think probably the operator hops on. Oh, looks like you're having difficulty connecting. I'm sorry, the system's a little bit on the fritz. Who you need to call, honey?
Yes, yes, emergency services. There's been a car accident.
Oh no. Well, I guess I better call the police.
Maybe an ambulance?
Oh, okay. Are you at, and give you the,
Yeah,
yeah,
it
yeah.
gives it.
Oh, that's over on Poplar, isn't it?
Yes.
All right, honey. I'll you go take care of whatever you need to, and I'll send the police and the ambulance.
Yeah, with that, I hang up the phone.
Okay.
I head back outside, and I come up to the two of you. I've called the authorities for an ambulance for this to.
Maurice is probably just trying to. I know that. What is it? The Quakers often they don't have prayers like most people do. What they do is they try to engage in silence for the most part, and I feel like this would probably be something that he would be doing right now, just to calm his own mind and kind of pray for the person that he just ran into. And so he's kind of just silent and just like head down kind of situation. And but Lord knows he's feeling it. He is going through it right now. He feels terrible.
I would say John would probably ask Maurice, "Do you have a blanket in your car?"
Yeah, I think so. I think it's in the trunk or in the back seat.
So I would probably go grab the blanket and just kind of throw it over the body, just to kind of hide him, and then kind of make sure that people are kind of ushering along. So that way, kind of keep the traffic moving. Kind of at this point, the person's dead. Let's kind of move things along here until the authorities
So
get here.
you're on crowd control. There's maybe a couple
Yeah.
of folks who have stopped, and they don't want to come too close. It's pretty obvious what has happened.
Yeah.
Is anyone saying anything to the crowd of a small crowd, maybe like half a dozen of shopkeepers from nearby? Like there maybe a couple people come out of the diner next door. Folks are really curious about what happened. All they heard was the screech of brakes and then a thud.
If I see a shopkeeper come out of their shop and kind of come up to me and ask what's going on, since I'm kind of ushering people along and kind of getting things, I would probably explain to him, hey, he kind of ran out in the front of, the car. He got hit. I think he passed away on impact. The authorities are on their way. I don't know who the guy is. but he came from that building over there. And then I just kind of point to the building, and that's it.
A little gust of wind will flip the edge of the blanket up enough that one of the patrons at the diner will go, "Oh, well, that's old Tim. He does my taxes." Oh, that's real strange. Unfortunate. But yeah, I'm gonna say, folks aren't like clamoring to get over there and look at the body, so it's not hard to kind of keep them at bay. Eloise, someone will come running into your office.
Oh, yes. Is there some trouble?
Nurse Page, have you seen Dr. Graves?
Oh, yes. He was heading back to his practice, I think.
Well,
he was just in here to get some files, and I'm making copies of them, she says, having just started.
Right.
Probably because
you spent 30 minutes on the phone.
Putting down the receiver.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, an emergency, you said? Oh, weird. Oh, well, I'll let you go.
Right, exactly. Well, we've been trying to reach him. It sounds like there's been an accident out on Poplar Street.
Oh no, that's terrible.
We called his office here and called his practice, and no one seemed to pick up. His nurse at his practice said that he left like an hour ago and hadn't been back.
Oh, how strange, because he had dropped off the business cards. He needed the files and left. Well, do you need my assistance, or?
Word is the fella's dead anyway, so.
Oh, well.
But we.
Well, let's just go and we can make an appearance, and I'll take notes for the doctor then.
Yeah, this sounds good. Okay. So this individual, because you're a few blocks from the university. So the fastest first responders is going to be the medical office and stuff like that, and security at the university. So yeah, you arrive at the same time that the local constable's car kind of pulls up, parks carefully. I think everyone seems to have gotten the word that it was a fatality. Couple of uniformed police will step out of the car, and then two of them will kind of start working their way up the sidewalk, kind of encouraging people to go back and go about their business. The police are here. An officer will kind of make his way towards, oh, look, it's John and Maurice.
It's John and Maurice. What a coincidence. Oh, terrible that they're caught up in all of this.
Yes.
What bad luck we all seem to be having all the time.
Yes. So you come up just as the policeman is getting John and Maurice's account of things. Are you saying anything other than the absolute truth, which is, look, we were just driving to the diner, guy ran out of nowhere?
Yeah.
I don't see why we wouldn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just straight up truth. At that point, the story can't get mixed up. So.
Cool. I think he will then motion Mrs. Fung over and ask if you saw the incident.
Yeah, Mrs. Fung explains. I only saw the aftermath, really, but I did see before the accident. I saw Tim on the phone, and it looked like he just started running after he was standing there for a while.
Well, based on the position of your car and the body, it certainly doesn't look like it's not like you ran up on the sidewalk or anything. It looks like this occurred right here in the middle of the road. So I have to assume that you said you saw him running?
Yes, he just lunged into the street.
And you say you didn't have time to brake?
No, I didn't.
Well, don't leave town or anything. But we may want to talk to you later. But as of right now, and he says it a little bit louder so that his fellow officers can hear. And, as of right now, it doesn't look like anything other than a terrible accident. Oh, nurse, what was your name?
Nurse Page, yes, Eloise. Hi. So, such a tragic circumstance here. Should I examine him? I'm here to take notes for the doctor, Dr. Greaves.
Yeah.
They weren't able to find him.
Go ahead and, confirm there's nothing out of the ordinary, and as necessary, just pronounce him.
Of course.
I don't think he'll be getting back up.
Joke's on you, we're in a zombie movie now.
you
Surprise.
Think to the strange creature trapped in the basement. It's like, well.
Yeah. Normal. Should I do a medicine check?
Yeah.
I mean, surely I can't fail this. I'm very good at medicine.
You aren't currently insane, so you'll probably fail.
I mean, I'm a little indefinitely insane.
That's true.
But
that's true.
Not actively insane. So I got that going for me. It is 65 under 77.
Oh.
Cool.
I know, right?
A success.
I hope it just tells me this man is dead, because...
Well, I mean, anyone can tell that he's dead. I think what your medical training tells you is that, and also knowing Maurice is a good driver, but is not a speed demon. This was a low speed impact. And from what you can determine, he should be dazed, maybe a concussion from hitting the pavement, maybe some bruises, maybe a broken rib, but you aren't detecting, you're not detecting a broken neck. You're not detecting really any bleeding. There's no obvious reason why this person is dead.
Well, I'm going to keep that exciting little tidbit to myself and just pronounce him dead, because that seems to be the more clear choice. I think this seems like an excellent opportunity to have a little word with Maurice and John. So I'll just say, yeah, he's dead, and do paperwork stuff or whatever.
Okay, yeah. A wagon will pull up, and you can confer with the officer and say, yeah, he's dead. I pronounce him as of 10:37 a.m. And they will start to remove the body. What's happening? Maurice, your car is drivable. It's not like all cars are just like giant murder machines. They're very, 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 very sturdy. So there's maybe a little bit of cosmetic damage to it, if that.
If I understand vehicles of the time, they don't have a lot of give.
Yeah.
Compared to the fiberglass. Our vehicles
correct.
have.
The
Fiberglass
murder
and plastic
machine
of today.
did a murder, so
Extra murdery, yes.
Yeah.
as expected.
I'm not feeling very hungry right now, so I'm not sure if I want to. I guess I do want to talk to Eloise first. Maybe.
Well, if you're not feeling hungry, maybe we can sit down from tea. I know this kind of experience can be a little shaking, and I've heard that tea is just the best thing for such a thing. Yeah, let's all do that. You know any good tea places around here?
I mean, we were heading to the diner.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah, that's fine. Food smells are great. Let's go.
Now, Mrs. Fung, you overhear this conversation.
Yes. I think Mrs. Fung, as she inserts herself, she's like, excuse me, if you don't want to go to the diner, I could welcome you into my shop. I could offer you some tea.
Oh, that would be lovely. How kind of you.
Oh, thank you very much. I would love some tea.
And
You
I
can
really
call me
love
Mrs.
that burger,
Fung,
though.
I say to Eloise.
I'm Maurice Church. Nice to meet you.
I just turn and I head over to my shop and invite the rest of you in. as it's a pretty, I think, prototypical antique shop. There's the glass case full of the higher end items, but there's also many shelves of random knickknacks, books, uh, pieces of pottery, things like just piles of some things you could be junk, but there are definitely things of value in here as well. And Mrs. Fun guides you to a room in the back of the shop, and sets about making tea. There's like table and chairs. It's sort of it seems like it's her own personal space, and she sort of gestures abruptly for you guys to settle yourselves.
Wow, it's a lovely room you have here.
Thank you.
I like
It's a delightful space.
the feng shui of the room. It's nice. Feels cozy
Every
in here.
piece chosen with care. And she comes back with a tea set, and which it looks quite nice. It's like a sort of porcelain kind of deal with finely decorated, and pours everyone cups of tea and takes a seat herself.
Yes, thank you. So terrible business. It was quite odd, though, Maurice. So sorry. I assume you were driving the car. Terrible accident for sure. But you don't drive very quickly unless the need is there. Ha ha ha. We all think back to the time we had a terrible car chase. Moving on.
Smash
It
cut to
does-
us smashing into a monster beast falling off into the river.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. Yeah,
Oh,
okay,
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, that was exciting. We all take a second and think about that before moving on in the conversation. You're just like, well, that was an odd pause.
Look at everyone with their glazed eyes and go like, I wonder what they're thinking about.
I take a sip of my tea. It's like, ooh, nice.
Yes, yes. It was odd though. For medically speaking, that man should have been fine. You were not
Wait.
going at such high speed. He had no broken bones, no lacerations that were nothing like he should have been dazed, concussed at most.
Huh.
There's
Like,
really no chance that he could have died from that?
I mean, it leads to believe like a car hit him and now he's dead. One would think that that's the reason why he died. But his body is not in a state that would suggest that he was hit by a car. I didn't want to ruffle feathers with the police. There's nothing to be done for the poor soul at this point, but it is odd. Maybe the doctor would have more to say. They couldn't find him. It's so weird. He took a phone call this morning from my office and then just sort of ran off, and he can't be seen anymore.
John's gonna look at Maurice and Louise and just kind of look at both of them, and then just kind of like put his head in his hands, like, oh no, not again. Just kind of, no.
Oh, John, are you doing well from your stint in the hospital? I was so worried about you. You were there for weeks. Did you get the flowers I sent?
I did. Thank you. They were beautiful. My jaw
Yes.
was still a little sore.
It must be great to get off that liquid diet. Sips tea.
Yes, this tea is great. Okay.
I gather that you have all met before.
Multiple
we've
times.
Multiple times, yeah. Actually, I work with John.
Mm.
And me
And I'm at
Eloise
the
have been-
university.
where I worked.
You're among friends. Let's just say that.
It just seems strange that we keep getting drawn to each other in such ways.
Yes.
But you mentioned the doctor. What was he up to?
Oh, So he stopped by my office and then he denied taking a phone call, even though I obviously heard him taking a phone call from my office. He didn't leave any notes and he spoke so quietly I couldn't hear him. That's fine. I guess it was a private call. Who knew to call him there, though? And then he gave me all of his business cards to go to hand them out to people for private practice. And I was copying some files that he needed. And then they came to, well, actually, first I called the operator to see who called him, but they said no one called him, which is completely wild. So maybe I misheard the phone.
I told the police this, but Tim was on the phone before this accident. I'm not sure if that helps at all.
Well, it's not like a phone call can make you run into traffic and try to end your life. That'd be ridiculous.
It would.
I would be very interested to hear what the doctor had to say about. I don't want to scrutinize your medical ability there, Eloise, but hearing what has happened from the doctor would make me feel a lot better personally.
Yes, we could get
I
it.
would definitely like to have some information that mostly absolves me of vehicular manslaughter. It's just terrible what happened to him.
Terrible.
Quite. Well, we could stop by the doctor's office at some point. They said he wasn't there, but maybe he's circled back at some point. I do have to drop off those files.
Okay.
So there's that.
All right. I think that's a good plan of action.
And then we leave your shop forever. I'm so sorry.
I think.
Can I join you for your investigation?
Oh, of course. I'm sure your eyewitness account would help the doctor with his investigation.
It would add more legitimacy to us going over there unannounced.
Cool. Well, the good news is it's good. So it's only a couple of blocks away. And Mrs. Fung, I think, the fact that there was just a death out on the street is probably going to put a little bit of a damper on the foot traffic for a little bit.
Yes.
There are, although the wagon with the body has left, the two uniformed police officers are still kind of going door to door and asking people, just gathering witness statements. So you lock up your little shop. And then the good news is you don't have to drive and risk running over someone else. It's just a couple of blocks away. So Eloise, you lead everyone. The sidewalks are a little bit slippery from the fallen, still kind of wet leaves. And maybe it was, it was quite warm in Mrs. Fung's office and the tea was very warming. And so maybe coming out of that makes it feel like it's gotten a lot colder. The sun is still shining brightly. The sky is still blue, but there is a little bit of a chill that you all feel and just a little bit of a shiver as you walk the few blocks over to Dr. Greaves' office. What happens?
A knock and then enter without waiting for a response.
Yeah, it's office hours. The door is open.
Yeah.
Hello. The receptionist is not at her desk.
Hello. I assume there's a bell. I will start ringing it.
Sure. There's a little
not just ding 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 ding.
There's a little fancy buzzer.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Oh, a buzzer.
Yeah.
Oh, buzzer. Whoa, the electricity.
I know, right?
Oh my.
Who would like to give me a listen?
How's my listen these days? Do it, villain.
I'm going. Let me find my dice.
I'm too busy hitting a buzzer.
Yeah. All right. That is Oof. Well, that is a 68 over 60. Do we have any boon? I
Oh
think we
yeah,
have
Yes.
we
boons,
have a
right?
number of them.
To be honest, I leave this one as one giant thing. So
Yeah.
then
So you want
I
to spend a
tend to-
minor, you could just knock it down by 10.
Yeah, let's do that.
Cool. So you,
So,
yeah. So just a regular success. Uh,
Yeah.
maybe you were the last to enter, and Eloise very confidently strides over, calls out a couple of times and is now, has reached around to the reception desk to hit the little buzzer to summon the doctor. You hear from a door a little bit to your left as you're kind of facing this entryway. So the desk is over here. There's a little, obviously like a little closet, and then there's some door maybe to, I don't know, an examination room or something. It is closed, but you hear a wet sound, a sort of squelching noise, very faint.
Is it like a plop sound? Like something wet, like dropped and kind of plopped on the ground?
Not quite. No, it's more like, it's
Dropping
like
a bunch-
someone stirring noodles that are very saucy. Someone stirring a pot of very
like
wet
mac and
noodles.
cheese?
Yeah.
Right up there.
Unpleasant.
Okay. I'm going to turn towards the source of it.
Yeah. Move a little
And
bit
see if I
closer.
can. Yeah, just kind of not so much go investigate, but just kind of turn towards the source of the sound and just kind of like, if there's a corner, maybe peek around it, maybe kind of somewhat take a step towards it, but not fully go towards it at this point.
Well, I mean, it's just a door off of this kind of entryway. And the door is closed. But so, yes, John takes a step towards the closed examination room door.
Did anybody else hear that?
Hear what? Buzz, buzz, buzz.
No, what do you mean?
It sounded like a wet noise.
I rolled a 10. I rolled a 10 for a listen if I did.
Yeah.
All right.
Is that a hard success or a regular?
I don't know. 1 second.
What is your
listen.
listen score?
30. So that's
it's a hard success.
Just a hard success. Yeah.
So maybe you step over near John and kind of listen to, and you hear the same thing he heard, only you now also hear someone kind of muttering to themselves.
I turn to John and I just like and point over in a direction. Do the talking motion.
Yeah, and I think having it being pointed out as you both take one more step closer to the door, you also hear someone's voice, very 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 low voice, kind of muttering. You can't really make out the words.
There's something coming from that exam room. Since we're not a nurse nor a doctor, I don't feel like it's appropriate for us to go to that room.
Coward. Out of character. You coward. Open that door. In character. Oh, yeah, of course. Maybe the doctor's in there in the middle of an exam. I walk over to the door.
Yep.
And I will knock at the door and say, Doctor, are you in there?
There's no answer.
They probably just didn't hear me. Knock louder. Doctor! Obviously not. I'll just announce that I'm entering the room. This is an emergency? Probably. And I'll creak open the door and take a lookie.
Yeah, well, the good news is you found both the doctor and the receptionist.
Yeah, okay.
The,
Let me just get those dice ready for that sanity roll. What's the bad news?
The bad news is that the receptionist is, I mean, you now see why she wasn't there at the desk. She is kind of like, she's not quite in pieces yet, but she is close to it. And he appears to be like he hasn't responded to any of the noise, the incessant buzzing or you calling. And he's just sitting there, very intent, kind of placid face, just carving her up. So go ahead and give me a sanity.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
All of us, or just
Right now, only
I
Eloise
creak the
can
door
see.
open, just me. And when I fling the door wide open in a moment, you probably all will get to do the same thing.
Yeah, get him ready.
I did get a 44, but my sanity is 27. So
Cool. You take 3.
cool. I'll do that.
And I think there's probably a little bit of some sort of noise.
Yeah, there's a little
escapes you.
a gasp and then maybe a little scream.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little scream going on.
Yep.
And he looks up, kind of knife dripping blood or scalpel dripping blood. He didn't respond to any of the banging or the shouting or the buzzing, but that attracts his attention. And he looks at you and he goes, "Ah, nurse, I could use some assistance. I'm afraid she's feeling rather poorly." And then without locking eye contact, he starts to slice more. That same wet, squelching noise.
Yeah. I know what Maurice, I choose you. I will probably do. He's mutilating her, and I will open the door. Congratulations, everyone.
All right, everyone else roll.
Yay.
74 over 40. That's a failure.
Cool.
52 under 68, so success.
Awesome.
I got a 20 under 46.
Okay, so Mrs. Fung and John, maybe just like the angle isn't quite right. It's really clear what's going on, but like you're able to avert your gaze. Maurice, since your name was called, you're like, what? And then get us a really good view. You are going to take 2.
Oh,
I gave you a little warning before you got to see it, so.
Yeah.
fair enough. Down to 38.
And then I think the doctor, having completed that cut, will like lean over the body and look at you very closely, Eloise, kind of cock his head and say, "You look like you're feeling a bit poorly yourself. I think it would be best if I examine you." And he's going to take a slow step towards you, scalpel still in hand.
I am backing away and fumbling for my knife. I carry in my bag full of medical things, mostly drugs.
Right. Cool. So yeah, you can reach in your bag and grab your own scalpel.
Yeah.
I think everyone sees this doctor is now approaching menacingly towards Eloise.
I feel as if now is the time to act as you know, as the party the Quaker of violence. I take out my my monkey wrench and I just hit him in the knee as hard as I can.
Okay, so you're gonna rush in and try to kneecap him.
Yeah, because because of my trauma.
Cool. So if I remember correctly, I think John, you have a very high dex, right?
I do.
Cool. So I think we don't have to do the initiative just right. So I think it's probably John, Maurice.
I have an 85.
Okay.
Dex.
Oh, my dex is. It looks like it's 70.
Yeah. And then
50.
And then Eloise, you're 60. So I think it's John, Maurice, Eloise, Mrs. Fung, and he is going to go before Eloise. So it'll be John, Maurice, Dr. Eloise, Mrs. Fung. So,
Okay.
John, you don't have
hold
to
on.
do anything, but you have the option to do something. As you see Maurice just reach into, you're probably wearing some carpenter's pants or something there, Maurice, but instead of a brush or whatever, you've got your trusty wrench.
Actually, it stands to reason he'd be wearing what he wore to see the magic show, actually, because that's what he wore last, eh?
I mean, that has been a couple of weeks.
Oh, but he would have been wearing his work clothes then.
Yeah.
So, John has learned his lesson about acting. He survives when he runs. He gets damaged when he tries to help.
Right.
So I let the dice decide. Odds, John acts. Evens, John just kind of sits back and just lets it happen.
Okay.
The dice decided that John is going to act.
Okay.
Oh, no.
So John is going to run and try to tackle this doctor to the ground.
Cool.
To try
Right.
to save or to try to disarm him.
Get him, John.
All right. So John is going to, as you start to prepare yourself, Maurice, John springs into action and races into the exam room. So go ahead and make a, what are you, you're like physically attacking him?
Yes, I would probably wait until they came out into the hallway first. Just kind of like a surprise, like he didn't know that we were all there, and then just kind of hit him.
Yeah, I mean, we can say that,
Yeah.
you know, it's not a large exam room, that Eloise and Maurice have backed out a little bit, and he's approaching. He seemed to have eyes only for Eloise.
Okay. Yeah,
Cool.
so yeah, I would straight up physically try to tackle him
Cool. He is
to
going
the
to
ground.
obviously fight back.
Okay. That's fighting brawl, correct?
Yeah.
I am going to use 3 luck points to make it a hard success.
Cool. He whiffed it.
Okay.
So like he's like, you just run in like a blur. He I think slips in the rapidly growing pool of blood and kind of does the whole ice skater thing, just like flashing the knife around. And yeah, you're able to kind of, you skid a little bit too, but you're able to kind of grab him around the midsection, and you've got him. Maurice. Did you want to do damage on that, or are you literally just trying to grapple him?
I would probably just try to take him to the ground so that way and try to pin his arm. It's more or less what I'm trying to do, is just kind of disarm him more than do damage.
Yeah, it's easy enough to take him to the ground. And
All right.
if you succeed next time, you can get or if someone else succeeds, you can try to get the knife away from him, which is a good idea because he might, I don't know, stick it in you.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well,
So yes.
I was gonna wail on him, but now that that John's created an opening, I'm gonna try to remove the weapon from his hand.
Cool.
All right. Is that
Are you
still fighting brawl?
Yes.
sorry.
Now, are you trying to golf swing it out with your wrench, or are you just trying to like grapple his arm?
Break his hand and
I like the
everything.
golf. I like the sound of the golf swing personally.
Cool. I'll say, yeah. Go ahead and give it. I mean, it's technically a called shot, but he's grappled, so I'll say it equals out.
Okay.
He is, however, going to try to like pull the knife back so you can.
Well, that's
theoretically
lovely
miss.
because I rolled a 10,
Cool.
which is an extreme success.
Cool. He rolled a 90, which means he didn't whiff it like you did last time, but he did very poorly.
He
So
rolled
yeah,
worse than that last time?
there's just this crunch sound, and the scalpel goes flying and then into the wall. And his fingers are all just like big old twisted, broken knot now.
Does he seem to be affected by this?
Not immediately. I mean, he literally just got tackled to the ground, so he hasn't really had much of a chance to do anything. He, however, now does have a chance to do something. I think he's just going to try to claw John's eyes out with his fingers.
Oh my.
So you're going to fight back, or are you going to dodge there, John?
Let's let the dice decide. Since John is in a little bit of a thing where he has learned his lesson about fighting or running. So evens are fight and odds are run. Odd is run, so he's gonna dodge.
So you're just going to like shove away from him and try to get some space? Cool. All right, roll it up.
I was gonna say, since Maurice has now taken the knife away, he is disarmed. I'm just gonna try to get off of him and get away from him.
You've
Cool.
expended all your bravery.
Correct. That is a 72 over 47.
Uh-oh.
Cool. He got a 6.
Awesome.
His
So
mistake.
sorry about your eyes.
His mistake was trying to use the
scalpel,
thing
not
that
his-
he's skilled at using. He has the Eloise disorder, where the stuff he's supposed to be good at, he's not. But then, or the Dr. Wells disorder. The good news is he's not super strong. You take a red hot 1 point of damage as he just kind of lunges for your face, like he's trying to dig his broken fingers into your eyes. He's snapping his teeth at you.
He hits my jaw that's already been kind of healing.
Yeah, just a white zap of pain. He didn't hit you that hard, but he hit you on just accidentally, just on just the right spot.
Yeah.
Cool. But so then we have Eloise.
Well, they probably have them under control. Is that lady like dead? Like obviously.
Well, a good portion of her inside is on the outside, so probably.
Well, that's probably not alive then. Okay. Well, she doesn't need help then. So I guess gotta knock out this doctor. Hold on, I got stuff to knock people out in this bag.
Yeah.
Laudanum.
Yeah. We'll get something like an injection
Yeah.
that can knock him out. Yeah, I'll pull that out and try to stab him with it. It'll be fun.
Cool. He's gonna try to dodge that, but he's definitely overwhelmed, so he's gonna take some penalty on that. But
And
there's a
what
chance.
am I rolling?
I think it's, well, I don't know. I think it's probably fighting brawl.
Yeah. It seems reasonable. I missed, I think, because I got an 89 over 45.
Cool. He just succeeds. So he just kind of, as you go up to stick him in the leg or whatever, he just jerks it out of the way. Or and maybe even the needle like hits his skin, but you don't get a really good injection. He's probably going to have to be held down or immobilized for you to actually like get it in the vein.
Yeah.
Cool.
Now to hold him down, I say to them.
Mrs. Fung, you were having tea.
And now
10
we're
minutes ago.
here. This is awful.
Yeah.
So the weapon that Mrs. Fung carries with her is a gun.
Yeah.
But we're in quite close quarters. So I don't think it's a great idea to fire the gun while there's several people standing around the target. And
I'll do
Mrs.
it.
Fung knows enough about gun
Do it.
safety.
Do it.
Do it.
Yeah, listen to us. We're all insane. Do it.
John's not insane, but do it.
John is in hitting range.
It's fine.
So I think of what Mrs. Fung does, despite this bad idea chorus, is so she, I think, she's a bit stunned by all of this that's been happening. How is this her life? You said that the scalpel had
Yeah.
sort of clattered over. To
It actually, stuck in the wall.
Okay. Okay, so it's like fully stuck there.
Yeah.
I was thinking to go grab it, but if it's stuck,
I mean, there's
then
a
maybe it
tray
doesn't
of other
matter at all.
implements right next
Oh,
to
there's
the
a tray of
body.
implements.
Yeah.
I do think that Mrs. Fung is going to go for those.
Okay.
Shooting into a crowd is a later activity, I think.
Yes.
So I'm gonna take a sharp implement and try to stab this guy, I guess, in the leg.
Okay, cool. Go
Yeah.
ahead and give me a fighting brawl.
Yeah,
For
this isn't-
safety, the leg.
Yeah.
Probably make it harder for him to get to his feet. Oh, and he's so overwhelmed.
Unfortunately, that's a 27 over 25.
Cool. He is gonna.
You can. Oh, sorry. Can you spend luck for that, or?
Yeah.
I think we
yeah.
have some boons too. I mean, you could use those or use luck.
This is my first time here. I'll use some luck, I think.
you
So
go.
is that 2 luck? How does that work?
Yeah, you just have to
Yep.
spin down to where your total. So every point of luck reduces 1 from your roll, 1 for 1.
Okay,
So you
and
just
is
have
it-
to get down to just have to get down to your success threshold. You don't have to go to
so
lower.
spending 2 luck for it.
Cool,
Yeah.
cool. All right. Go ahead and roll. It's a small knife. Roll a d4.
3.
Cool. And do you have a damage bonus? So next in your that little weapon block, it should say damage bonus. You might even have like a -1.
Yes, it is a -1.
So that makes it a 2, right?
2. Yes.
Cool. So you do. I mean, 2 points is still a lot. So you get it. You're just not super strong. So you do. You take a slightly larger knife and just plow it right into his thigh. He tries to jerk out of the way, and then now finally having had his hand smashed and leg stabbed, he starts to. It's not so much like screaming or yelling in pain. It's more like frustration. Cool. John, what are you doing?
I'm gonna stand up and kick him in the ribs.
Cool. Fighting brawl.
Just simple. Just try to immobilize him. Just do something. I am going to use 1 point of luck to make that a 45,
Cool.
which will be a match success.
Cool. Do your unarmed damage.
So that is okay. So it's D3, which is interesting. So it's 2 points.
Cool.
No bonuses, just 2 points.
Cool. I mean, still, you probably hear a crack as your boot connects, and he makes starts coughing. Maurice.
I'm gonna pin him.
Cool. Fighting brawl.
Go in for the full Nelson or whatever. Other wrestling moves. Fighting brawl. Okay, that's a 91.
Oof.
That ain't great, but I'm confident that I could do this. So basically, what I'm gonna do is, I had a pretty loose grip before, so I'm gonna go in for the gable grip and really reinforce that, and hopefully not break my wrist. Okay, that's an 11. That's on. Is that extreme? That
What's
is an
your
extreme success.
nice?
Cool. I think Maurice, you just rush in and kind of like as he's kind of reacting from being kicked in the ribs and kind of just like squirming in this pool of blood, you just like quick flip him over and then pin his arm behind his back. So now he's just kicking his legs.
I'm just start yelling, "Why'd you do it? Why'd you do it?"
Cool. The phone rings. And he goes still and limp. What happens?
Convenient. If he is still and limp, I'm just gonna inject him with the stuff that makes him fall asleep, just in case,
Cool. Give me
while
medicine.
he's lying there. Yeah. Uh-huh. That's a 95 over 75.
So not a critical fail, but a fail.
Not a critical fail, but it did fail.
Yeah. I think you think it was perfectly successful.
Yeah, I think so too. I did it. I'm just going to check medicine for no reason. And then I did it entirely. I didn't accidentally squirt out all of the stuff from before and just inject him with nothing. I think it's perfectly fine. All right.
Oh, no. I think you gave him a very healthy dose.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this will be good.
I think
All
I think in your moment, you maybe in your head mixed up micrograms and milligrams.
It's
Uh-oh.
fine. I'm good at medicine. Cool. The phone's ringing. Well,
Phone is ringing.
I'll
Never
go
get a-
answer it.
Never get a player character to do their job because they'll just roll.
So you're going to answer the phone.
Yeah,
Cool. Give me a sanity check.
I'm good at that. Also,
Are you?
let's see. This time I am good at it. I got a 1.
Whoa.
Oh.
Cool.
Uh-oh. I'm gonna realize it's crazy.
So you pick up the phone and do you say anything or are you just listening?
I mean, hello, I say, forgetting that I should probably say it's the doctor's office or actually hang up and ask for police or something.
Yeah. So you hear like a clicking, hissing, almost like an echoey, slithering sound on the other end. Like maybe it's, static or whatever. And then a voice. Kill them. Kill them all.
Excuse me?
Kill them.
Is this a prank?
And then it dissolves into this
Terrible.
sound. Yeah.
I'm gonna hit the receiver a few times to reset.
Yeah, you
That
hit it,
was
reset
weird
it, and
and
you keep hearing it, and then there's just this loud squeal coming out of the handset.
Yeah.
Well, hey, honey, it sounds like you're having a hard time making a call. Who can I connect you to?
we were just called by. Wait, no, send the police immediately. The doctor went insane and murdered his receptionist.
Well, that sounds just terrible.
Yeah, it is. What a horrible morning. First the accident.
Is this Eloise?
It is, yes. We went to go to the doctor's office because of the accident in the street. You know, the pedestrian that was run over by a car.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You know, I was just thinking about that brownie recipe, you know, and I were talking about. Now, is that white sugar or brown sugar?
It's brown sugar because it really brings out the richness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Eloise,
yeah. Oh,
come on.
Could you get the police here, please? I'm so sorry.
Yes. All right, honey. And then you hear a thing. They're on their way.
Oh, thank you. I'll just hang up. We don't need to be on the line.
Cool.
They're all looking at me for gossiping, so I'm going to have to hang up. There's other people here.
Yeah, looking at you with utter bemusement when you start talking about sugar.
Now be sure to cream that butter. It's like, what? She's clearly lost her mind. All right. Yeah, you
covered in blood from all over the floor, everywhere.
But you suffer no ill effects from the first part of that call.
The person on the line just said, "Kill them all." Do you think that was someone like
the
doing a prank call? No, not the operator. It was like a different thing. There was like a weird clicking noise and then like a noise. And then it was like, "Kill them all. Kill them." And I was all like, is this a prank? Because who would say that?
It is an odd thing to say.
It is an odd thing to say, yeah.
But they're sending the police?
Oh, yes, the police are on their way.
Okay.
Maurice has an idea, but it has to do with like the phone operating. Now, usually when we have something weird like this, it's taken over. It takes over like some aspect of technology. Like we had that boiler room monster. We had the whatnot. Would I be able to use?
There was the magic monster, and then there was and then what was the one that we hit the car with?
Mrs. Vegas was like, "What?
What is happening?"
Would I be able to use mechanical repair to kind of get an idea of where a creature would be like coming from to get through the telephone system?
Not precisely. So it would be probably occult, maybe, but you could certainly use mechanical repair to examine the telephone.
Oh, then I'll do that.
Cool. Yeah. Do it.
What is my roll is? Oh, that's 72. Yeah. Oh, I've been rolling like a beast. Extreme success. 10 under 72.
Oh, an extreme success.
Yeah.
You
Perfect.
notice that where the kind of braided, you know, because this is, I don't know, old timey. So the telephone cable has that kind of fabric braid around it.
Right.
Yeah.
You
notice that near where it meets the wall, that fabric is scorched and singed. And there's even a little bit of a kind of a black mark, like a soot mark going up the side of the wallpaper.
Like it's being burnt?
And with an extreme success, you look like, and maybe even pry open that coating, and you can see that the telephone wire has been severed or like melted. It is not intact.
So we're not even getting in contact with the actual operators, like the where the operators operate. And for example, we're being connected some.
Yeah, as you're thinking it through, you're kind of crouched down behind the desk looking at this. The phone rings right next to your head.
Sure, why not? I answer the phone.
Cool, give me a sanity.
Yeah, okay. This is not as good as the other rules. This is an 81 over 38. You gross. You guys are so screwed.
Maybe.
Or just one of us.
You take 8.
Oh, that's indefinite. That first of all, that's I guess that overrides the.
Oh, does it take you
temporary
down to
insanity.
does it take you to indefinite?
Yes.
Which honestly isn't the worst situation. So what you hear is a
30.
burbling noise. It sounds a bit like, when you dunk yourself in the bath, or when you've gone swimming, that sound of like almost like your blood rushing in your ears that you can hear because you're submerged. And there's some bloop kind of watery noises. And then, because why not, you hear your mother's voice.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Join us. Join us in the depths, Maurice. And you can feel a tug. Like you realize that you're a block from the river. And you feel a momentary compulsion to throw yourself into the river. But then your mind breaks and you go completely insane. So what are we going to call your indefinite insanity? What seems to make sense?
Oh, what makes sense right now? This is the other one was so obvious. This is less obvious. I mean, like the I guess I overcame the desire to murder people instantly by going insane.
Well, there was nothing. The instruction wasn't to kill people. The instruction was to join your mother in the depths, and you felt a momentary, like as you passed through in temporary insanity, where you had a compulsion to throw yourself off the bridge. Now you're into full on like La La Land. So,
Okay, so I think maybe I just have kind of schizophrenic, delusions that of my mother giving me instructions.
yes,
somehow.
your mother's voice is now in your head forever.
And I feel compelled to follow them.
Okay, cool.
I'm gonna say, can I suggest something?
Sure.
Okay.
That random people peer as your mother, and you're going to try to follow them. So someone like on the street would would appear as your mother, and you'd be like, "Oh, it hates my mom. I'm gonna go follow them because I want my mom."
I think maybe it just narratively makes the first one makes more sense, but I do like that.
Well, and maybe sometimes you can see your mother when she's not there, and you hear her when she's not there, and sometimes that might manifest in other people.
It's like a synthesis of the two. I like that.
Yeah. So you're basically hallucinating. You're hallucinating that your mother is now with you. Great. So what do you do?
I think they want me to go to the depths. They want me to go into the river or something like that. And I tell everybody, it's like, guys, I think we should go to the river. Like, I was just told by the guy on the phone that we should definitely examine that area.
Shouldn't we wait for the police?
No, I don't think we should wait. I think that'll take up too much time.
By the guy on the phone that said to kill everyone?
No, it was a different guy.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. You didn't even hear the first guy.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just assumed it was a different guy because he definitely didn't tell me to murder anyone.
But he told you to go to the river.
Yeah.
And do what? Why would we be running out of time?
It just seemed to be time sensitive. That's all.
You want to go to a river because a stranger on a phone told you to?
Well, he seemed so convincing at the time. So
I
just-
don't think we should go.
well, I'm gonna go anyways.
Okay.
So we're not stopping that. But yeah, Mrs. Fang, it's just sometimes you have to take some weird assumptions in these kind of situations. We've been through a number of these kind of scenarios.
I mean, I kind of agree with Maurice. I mean, sometimes you have to just kind of take some random leaps of faith here. I mean, we've been in enough scrapes and everything that we might have to just go to the river to investigate it.
Yeah.
It sounds like Mrs. Fung isn't buying this. Would you like to roll a psychology?
Sure.
And the only reason why John would say that is because me and Maurice have been in multiple situations together that Maurice is at this point has convinced John that, yeah, you know what, maybe it is a good idea.
So it's 20 under 50.
Yeah, he is, which is a hard success. He is completely out of his mind and a danger to himself and potentially others.
Okay.
100%. This is super sus.
I really think that we should reevaluate this plan. I don't think it would be safe to go to the river in this state. After, I don't know what you heard, but it seems unsafe to listen to it.
Well, what's unsafe about it?
It's just the river.
Yeah.
Because the last time someone picked up a phone, well, the last couple of times someone's picked up a phone, they ran in front of a car or were told to murder people.
I mean, she didn't murder anybody, so
She didn't listen to what the voice said. That's the key
voice
thing.
did tell me to do that. So if the voice on the phone said to do something, you shouldn't do it.
Maurice, your mother's voice in your head. She's trying to keep us apart, Maurice. Who are you going to choose, me or this strange woman?
And I reply, it's like, you know what? If you guys don't want to come with, that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and check out and try to finish this little investigation that we're doing right now. It's the only lead we have to go on.
I mean, and I can't just leave Maurice to his own, just by himself. I mean, so I'm gonna
All right,
end
well,
up tagging with
go
Maurice
ahead.
here.
Yeah, just make sure he doesn't do anything weird, I guess.
So,
We'll wait for the police here. It'll be fine. By this phone.
Surely that's safer.
sure. I mean, if Maurice got a tip to go try to solve this thing at the river, I feel like we should all probably go to the river.
No, because then we're fleeing the scene of a crime.
The police have to get here soon. We can wait for them to get here and then we can go investigate this lead.
Maurice, didn't you say that it was time precedent though? That we
Yeah,
gotta
it's
go now?
It seemed to be time sensitive, like whatever evidence we would acquire seemed to be would probably wash away at some point.
I feel like we're at a standoff here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Listen,
a little bit.
Look, I got the car, so like if you want to ride afterwards, then
Well, you walked
You know.
here.
we did
Oh,
walk
ah,
here.
The car is still parked in front of Mrs. Fung's.
dang, I was gonna pull that move.
Well, maybe you still do because you're currently gaga.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess you two ladies, stay here with the dead body,
Yeah, you can at least
And-
explain why we're not here right now. So
or just
That
say that
seems
we aren't here at all and that might be the better. We weren't here. So, all right, Maurice, I guess let's go to the river. I mean, let's go ahead and investigate this lead here and see what we can learn.
Okay.
Cool.
I'm gonna
So
follow
Maurice and John
yeah.
flee a murder scene. It's perfect. So I think, I mean, Arkham's not big. It's probably Maurice going the other way to get your car doesn't make sense. So you start hoofing it towards the nearest bridge over the Miskatonic. You get about a block when you see I'm going to say 4 individuals. One of whom is one of the police officers that was at the earlier accident, but the other ones just seem like one of them's a janitor. You see them making their way up the street toward you, and they are all quite obviously armed. Shotguns. Like somehow the janitor has a pitchfork or something.
Okay.
And they just seem to be moving not super fast, but with intention, like walking with intention up the street.
Right.
Like, I'm gonna assume down like the sidewalk, not like the actual street, right?
Oh, I think they're in the street.
Oh,
Maybe one of them, maybe it's a couple of them on the sidewalk, but they seem to be kind of marching almost.
I get the sense this is what I'm supposed to be finding. So
It's
I'm
not.
not sure what...
This is not the bottom of the river.
Oh, okay. I need to get to my river.
Now, we've already determined the terms of your indefinite insanity, so you can technically react however you want because you aren't currently in the throes of a temporary insanity. But I think the voice is still, yes, come to the depths. It's so cold and dark here.
John's gonna skirt around them and just kind of like, oh, okay, and just kind of like hug against the building and just kind of watch, kind of do like a wall lean and just let them kind of pass.
I think they just pass right by you.
Okay. That seems like something that I do not want to mess with.
And then as soon as they get by you, I think they will collectively start to jog, picking up speed. The ones that are on the far side of the street cross over. They are converging on the doctor's office.
All right,
Okay.
so I've got 2 competing neuroses at this point.
Yeah.
I look at this and they going towards the doctor's office. And sorry, neurosis 1 that we're dealing with right now is that I have my mother's voice in my head and telling me what to do.
Yeah.
The other one is I want to save people.
Yeah.
Much to the detriment of myself, and I'm trying to figure out which one to follow here.
The one guy that has a shotgun, you hear him cock it as they're running towards where you left Eloise and Mrs. Fung.
And then I realized I could do both. Somehow. So basically what I'm trying to do is I start to engage these men and I'm going to try to get them all into the river and then follow them afterwards myself.
Okay. So you have some sort of strange logic going on where you're just going to like, okay, cool.
This is the sort of logic I'm dealing with.
Okay. So what exactly happens?
I basically go up to the one with the shotgun and I lift him up and I just try to like German suplex him over the railing somehow.
Okay, well, you're going to have to like carry him to the river because it's a couple of blocks away.
Oh, I thought it was on a bridge.
No, you're trying to get to the bridge. You're still a block away from the doctor's office.
Okay, so Okay, then I would just beat the hell out of these people first, and then go to the river and later.
Okay. Easier to haul them over there one by one if they're unconscious.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. So Maurice pulls out the wrench and goes just running down the street towards one of these guys. You said the guy with the shotgun. John, what are you doing?
At this point, can I do like a psychology or like a knowledge roll to see if he's like insane at this
Yeah,
point?
psychology.
Because-
Psychology.
Okay.
Do
At
it.
this point, because that's definitely not something Maurice would typically just do. Just like
You
hey,
hear
you guys
him say,
got this.
"Oh,
Ah.
more for the river," and then just runs.
Yeah. Okay, that is a 22 under 36. So yes, I passed.
Yeah, Maurice is totally out of his mind, and so are all these people.
Okay.
Finally, a second person gets it.
Yes. Yes.
And
was
it does look like
blind-
it's some random people that are heading with
Yeah.
violent intent towards Eloise and Mrs. Fung.
I was gonna say it was blind trust for you, Maurice. So John is going to try to sneak past these guys and get back into the doctor's office to try to get the girls out.
Cool. Tell you what, give me a con roll.
Con roll?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that is a 9 under 50.
Jeez.
Cool. So
that is a extreme success.
So this is effectively a race because these folks are jogging, but they're not like running full out. So John, I think we see a scene of John like, I guess we'll just go to the river. It sounds a little bit weird, but whatever. It's Maurice. And then like, wait a second. This is really strange as Maurice just takes off to go whack some police officer with a shotgun. And like we see the 2 and 2 add up to 4 in John's head. And then John's like, oh crap. And then just sprints. So Eloise, Mrs. Fung, you two are kind of probably standing in the lobby of the doctor's office, like where you don't have a clear line of sight to the remains of the receptionist and the totally alive and not remotely overdosed doctor. And you hear a boom from the front door as John slams through it. And I'm going to say probably shuts the door behind you, right? Slams the door behind you, panting, leaning up against the door. What happens?
John, where's Maurice?
So
Police.
apparently he's gone insane and he's trying to currently bash in the skull of some police officer.
Oh.
And they are all, there's like a mob of like a good amount of people trying to converge on this spot currently right now. So you two and us, all of us, need to leave like now. And I'm gonna kind of like hop over and just kind of like usher them towards maybe like the back. Hopefully there's like a back exit and just kind of start pushing the two girls towards the back.
Oh yeah, I start moving on my own right away. That was compelling.
Yeah, no, that seems reasonable. You did come running back in and shut the door.
Cool. So Maurice, you have targeted the guy with the shotgun. So you're going to run up behind him. Go ahead and give it a whack.
All right. Fighter brawl. Yep.
Max damage.
25. What's a 25 these days? That's a hard success.
Cool. Roll up that damage.
All right. What is my damage these days? It's a D8 plus 4. Is this a D8? That appears to be a D8. Okay. Oh, plus a D4. Come on, Max. That's very high. That's a 10.
Oh no. So maybe Eloise, as you're running, you kind of look back. You see a number of individuals who are now jogging towards the front of the doctor's office. They're hot on your heels, but the one kind of trailing behind holding a shotgun, you just see kind of a sploosh of red and then the end of a very familiar wrench that embeds itself like halfway through his skull. And then just as Maurice draws it back, that guy just kind of wobbles on his feet and then collapses. You have straight up murdered him.
Oh, I don't think Maurice is feeling well.
Yeah, no, keep going. Keep
Maybe
going.
he needs some exploratory surgery. So yeah, why don't Eloise, Mrs. Fung, and John give me a con roll?
That is a 53 over 50.
Okay.
I am not going to use any luck on that one.
55 under 60.
Cool.
That's a 67 over 50.
Cool. So John is a little bit winded. Ms. Fung is a tiny little bird-like woman who is maybe not like in little kitten heels, and it's not really meant for running. Eloise, with the traction from the nurse's shoes, Eloise makes it to the back door. Mrs. Fung is partly there. John is partly there when the front door bursts open, and you see a couple of just individuals. Like one's in like some workman's coveralls. One's in like a shirt and tie but no jacket, and one is a janitor carrying a pitchfork. And they all kind of rush in. I think the janitor is the first one, and he is now rushing toward you. Maurice, first of all, so those guys are past you. They're now or two of them are at the front door. The janitor has come in to the doctor's office. What are you doing, Maurice?
Let's see. I'm still trying to protect people. But I feel like if I can, I think I'm just gonna keep trying to dome people to
Cool.
thin the numbers.
Cool. So we'll do that, and then we'll do John,
Okay, so
Elise, and Miss Fung.
another fighter brawl.
Yeah, if you want to run up on the steps and see if you can clock one of the guys at the door.
Yeah. It's only a 60, but that is still a regular success.
Cool.
All right. Come on, big time. Oh, I lost one. It's my only D4.
No,
Do you want me to roll for you?
you'll find it one way or another.
All right. Hey. 8.
So yeah,
D4?
a D8 plus a D4.
D8 plus a D4.
So you just swing sideways at this guy. We'll say it's the guy in the suit, and just like half of his head crumples in, and he also just falls to the ground, totally dead. John is very lucky not to have been murdered that one time you punched him. So, so yay.
Well, that was only one D3 with a D4.
That's true. That's true. Because you were just using your big ham hock,
big
fists.
meaty hands.
Yeah.
My mitts.
Right. So, yeah. So now there's one at the front door, and then the janitor who is now menacing you guys with a pitchfork. John, what you doing?
So on my character sheet, it does say that I have a rifle.
Yeah. I don't think you were
I
carrying
feel-
your rifle when you got out of the hospital.
Fair enough. I was gonna say, if anything, I would probably have traded the rifle in for a pistol.
But you were just in the hospital. Now, Ms. Fung, so as this was happening, as John was saying, hey, there's some people coming to kill us, would you have reached in your purse for your gun?
Yes, absolutely.
So here's a fun thing about initiative in Call of Cthulhu. If you have a drawn weapon, that effectively adds 50 to your initiative. So what's going to happen is you're going to go first because you have a gun in hand.
Okay.
So this janitor, he's probably got some chewing tobacco in like underneath his lip, crazy eyes, smiling, just jabbing at the air with a pitchfork.
Yeah. Yeah, so I am going to turn around and fire my gun.
Yeah.
I want to stop this guy from getting close to me, please. So we'll see how that goes. So that's a 77 over 45.
So the shot goes wild.
So we do
Yeah.
have major boons and minor boons.
Or you could spend a major boon.
What does that do?
So it can be one of two things, if I remember correctly, because it always had different effects depending upon the game. I think in this one, you have the option of re-rolling or swapping the dice, swapping the 10s and 1s. So like if you rolled like a 71, you could turn it into a 17, or you could just re-roll.
Okay. In this case, I would just re-roll because
So spend a major
for the
boon and do a
does
re-roll.
not do anything.
Yes.
Okay, so yes, I would like to re-roll that. Let's try that again.
Sounds like a good idea.
This time we're at a 14.
Cool. What is that on your, what kind of success is that?
That is a hard success.
Cool. Roll your damage.
So this is a D8 for the revolver. Four.
Cool. I'm going to say you catch him in the thigh, and he kind of stumbles into the receptionist desk. He's still alive, but you have maybe impaired his mobility a bit. And you probably are in the best position because you're looking right at him. You got the gun out. As he's hit and kind of stumbles in the desk, you see a sort of confused look on his face for a second. And then the phone rings. And he pulls himself back up, renews his grip on his pitchfork, and then starts, like limping toward you. John.
Since I don't have any gun and it's only close quarters weapons on me, with me and Mrs. Fing kind of lagging behind, I would try to maybe pick her up and try to, or at least assist her in getting to the back door.
Yeah. Just give me a regular strength.
Okay. Well, that is a 50 over 40.
You want to push it because you're panicked?
Yeah, let's push it. What's the worst that's going to happen? That is a 12 under 40. So that is a hard success.
Cool. John just picks you up over his shoulder, Mrs. Fung, but you're still like hanging off the back of him with the gun trained. So because it was a hard success, well placed, as he begins to hustle with you down the hallway, you still have line of sight on this dude. Eloise, what you doing? You're at the back door.
Oh, let me just open this door here for our escape. So I'll have it open and ready to close once they get out of here. I think Maurice got it. He seems to be doing something back there. Let's not inspect that too closely.
Yeah, as you were looking back, you saw two people and then just like a flash and a splash of red, and now there's just one person at the front door.
It's like I'm like the Quaker version of John Wick here.
Sleeper
Totally
agent activated.
non-violent. Yeah, great. All right, cool. So Maurice, the guy who is there with you in the front, I think is going to, I'm going to say he has, you can see he's got some, oh no, he's wearing an apron. That's even better than coveralls. He's wearing an apron, and you can see there was a little bit of blood on it already. Of course, now there's a big splash of blood and bone and stuff from the guy you just murdered. He's going to pull out a cleaver, and he's going to try to cleave you with it. So do you want to fight back or do you want to dodge?
Fight back.
Cool. Oh, that's 2 1s. I needed a D10.
47.
Cool. He fails.
Yay.
So
Do
you're
I do
going to...
damage?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oops. There we go. It's a 5. A respectable 5.
Okay. You smash him in the face and just blood sprays everywhere because you hit him with a wrench. But he, unlike the last 2, does not immediately expire.
Yeah, I'm losing my touch here. Eee.
Right. You just pull the wrench out of his face, spin it around, shake off some of the stuff. Cool. All right. So, Mrs. Fung.
Yeah, so I still have line of sight while I'm being
Yeah.
carried out of here. Okay, I'm gonna try to shoot him again.
Yeah.
I don't love being followed by a guy with a pitchfork. 57 over 45. Apparently destined not to roll well on this one.
You want to spend 12 points of luck?
How much luck do I have? Let me look at that.
Would she be able to maybe push the roll? Maybe
Uh,
miss one shot and try to shoot another?
But it would be bad if you failed the second one. Like something bad would happen.
Maurice
something
is
bad.
taking a hit, clearly.
Maybe
Yeah,
because Maurice is in
I'm
line
not
of
super
sight.
confident in succeeding at this, actually.
Okay.
Uh,
Remember to tick your box because you failed.
Yep.
Yes.
But it's only 12 luck.
Okay. Is that really an only?
Yeah.
Never listen to the narrator. 12 bucks a lot.
He's
12
he's
bucks a lot.
trustworthy.
12 bucks a lot, but it's
Very
not like it's
trustworthy.
20.
I think
Yeah.
I'm taking the fail on that one.
Okay.
Okay.
So the shot goes wide again, or for real this time.
For real this time.
Cool. All right, John.
John would probably just try to run out the door, seeing that Luis has opened up the door for us.
Yeah.
So just try to get out, and then I would probably yell back maybe to Maurice. Maybe, what are you doing? Get out of there. We're perfectly fine.
Cool.
Just to kind of see if maybe it would maybe stop his insanity, or just to try to maybe get him away from the situation.
Cool.
So more or less just run and then call back to him. And
Yeah,
step out.
you run, you kind of hop down the little steps into the backyard, because this is just a house. It's the bottom floor is the doctor's office. Into the tidy backyard. Eloise is waiting there right at the door to slam it closed. So what you do, Eloise? What do you do after that? As John kind of carrying a bouncing Mrs. Fun with the gun kind of wobbling around wildly.
We gotta go away to wherever operators live. We gotta stop the phone system from making Cthulhu calls.
Yes.
Is there?
Yes.
Wait, is there like a wire line or something like that?
Well,
that connects the?
Do you know where
telephone?
the phone? Do you know where the phone system is? Do you know where the switchboard is?
I mean, probably. I talk with them every day, apparently.
Right. Share recipes.
Is that a no roll?
Yeah. Eloise, just give me a knowledge roll.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll even say I'll give you a bonus die because it's not that hard. There's a chance
Your
you might
best
not
friend
know.
Mabel.
Yeah.
Knowledge.
It's intelligence.
Certifications. Oh,
Intelligence. Okay.
So if I
I
remember
thought it-
correctly,
Oh, sorry. No, it's education. Intelligence is
Education.
an idea roll. It's either intelligence roll or idea, and knowledge is education is education roll or knowledge.
That will be a 22 under 75, so hard success.
Yeah. I mean,
So-
you know exactly where it is. It's on the second floor of the bank building.
Yeah.
so an advantage, it's an advantage roll, right? Correct? Is what you gave her or
Yeah.
gave
Yeah.
Misha?
Yeah.
So how does that work again?
Reroll. You
Roll
roll the
the-
tens twice and take the lower if it's a bonus die.
So
Cool.
the bank building. We gotta find the haunted line that's making these ghost calls. So probably a quick orientation and then be like, let's go.
Is it down by the river?
No.
It'd be convenient if it was, but it's not. It's downtown at the bank building, obviously.
I mean, everything. This is not a huge town, so everything's kind of
Yeah.
down by the river.
It's kind of by the river, but it's a few
It's not at
blocks the
bottom,
other way.
That's for
Yeah.
sure.
Cool.
It
Well,
would've
there's
been
a,
one of-
yeah, there's a little back gate. I think as you reach the back gate and are kind of scrabbling with that, you see the four tines of a pitchfork just explode through the back door, and then you hear some rattling as the janitor is now trying to extricate the pitchfork. Maurice,
yes.
the butcher's up front. I think he's going to try to slash you again.
No, he's not. I'm gonna fight back.
Cool.
Ooh, 24. That's got to be real good.
He got a 2.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Spicy.
Yeah.
Do I spend 22 luck to meet that?
I don't know, man. We just kind of left you to fight everybody, so
The question is, how long is Maurice gonna last?
Well, you don't
that
have any
is
damage.
a real question.
No, but I am. Oh, you know what? I have like 49 luck. And I need what to meet that?
You would need an extreme success.
23. I would need a crit basically. Oh, I just need an extreme success.
Yeah, you don't have to hit the number. You just have to hit the threshold.
Okay, so that means I would only have to spend 10.
Cool.
That's not bad. And that would put me at 39.
Cool. So
what-
go ahead.
I was going to say, so what happens when you meet the threshold of the attacker?
I'm going to say, I think technically, if you're dodging and it equals you successfully dodge, if you're fighting back, I think you have to exceed it to.
I'm fighting back.
Yeah, but I don't care. I'm gonna say he steps in the ruin of the guy that you just killed and slips a little bit, giving you an
Right.
opportunity to whack him.
All right, and that's is that max damage because it's extreme?
Yeah.
Okay, then what is that? 8 plus 4. That's 12 damage.
Yeah. You duck low over the whoosh of this butcher's knife, and then just like break him in half with your wrench. He kind of folds in a way that's like a spine shouldn't fold, and then just kind of falls onto the porch.
Right.
There is now the janitor who has the tines of the pitchfork stuck in the back door.
All right.
You want to go murder him?
Oh, absolutely.
Cool. I think you just murder him because there's no way. I mean, he there's a chance, but I think that he is very focused, and you just very quietly walk up behind him, kind of 1, 2, 3, bonk. Cool. So you guys are, trying to unlatch this fence. You hear something, then you hear a splat noise, and then with a really large twang of the pitchfork, and then the door opens, and then there's Maurice, dripping wrench, covered in blood spray.
Hello.
Are you doing okay there, buddy?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the river now.
Oh, the river.
So Maurice, actually, we're heading to the river right now. If you want to go ahead and follow us.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll follow you.
Cool.
Cool.
Sorry, I'm kind of going through it right now. I just had to hurt a couple of guys. They were gonna hurt
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, they
Thank
were
you.
going to hurt us.
you. Yeah, but I got him.
We appreciate that, there, Maurice. You did well. You did really
Okay.
really well. But
Let's
yeah,
go
if
to
you want to go ahead and follow us, we're going to the river. I'm gonna lean
so
to
it's
the two of them.
is it psychology to detect lies?
Yeah, give me a fast talk into psychology.
Oh, I didn't even get close.
I was gonna
42
say I
over-
probably was gonna give you a setback die anyway, Maurice, because you're a little.
Yeah, my psychology's 19 anyway.
Oh yeah, it might get better.
All right.
That
well,
is a
yeah.
38
Oh, yeah.
under 40.
Yeah, Maurice is out of
That's
it. Maurice is in a bit of a fugue state anyway.
All right. And I'm gonna totally lean to the two of them and be like, "We're not going to the river."
I know.
Got it.
I think maybe the voice of your mother, because it's no longer, like you're not listening to the phone. That John seems like a nice, honest boy.
Yeah, John's a great guy.
Cool.
Yeah, he is. All right. And we go to the river, which is really the bank building.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, you make your way down to Main Street. And maybe there's a little bit of a conversation about, should we go and get Maurice's car? It's like, but Maurice is the best driver. And Maurice is not in a position to do much driving unless it's to murder people with. So yeah, I will say, I'll give it an eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Eloise, give me a spot hidden.
You think I'd be good at this? I'm going to use a major boon so you can see hidden things.
Okay.
To swap the 81 into an 18.
Cool. So you're walking. I mean, this is not a huge town, but at least on Main Street, you've got a couple of, 3 and 4 story buildings. So as you're walking down the sidewalk, you see a few, on your way over here, you've seen a few people just kind of like going about their normal business. You've seen a few people doing like really suspicious stuff, like someone carrying a big black bag that's leaking. Like there's some weird stuff going on. Don't really mess with it. Eloise, you hear and see a window on the 4th floor open. And because you're more alert, you kind of look up and don't have to dodge as someone flings themselves out of the building.
Ooh.
And lands right in front of you. Hey, could everyone but Maurice give me a sanity check?
Yeah. glad I was looking. Oh.
Well, they could have fallen
I
on
got-
you, so it's good that you noticed.
Yeah, I stopped it. Oh, something's gonna hit me. It's probably chamber pot or something. Oh, no, full body.
Body.
Oh.
It's Mr. Chambers, the local choir
Anyway.
teacher.
I got a 70, so that's definitely a fail.
Cool.
72 also fail.
Cool.
Succeed.
Okay. So Mrs. Fung and Eloise are going to take, what is that? Just one.
Okay.
Oh,
Just
that's
one.
good.
No big deal.
They've experienced more insane things just by being around me
Yeah.
At this point, yeah.
at this point.
Yeah, we did see the slaughtering, I guess.
A lot of murder, actually.
Yes. Yes. So you're able to dodge out of the way as this person just very silently leaps out the window and smack into the pavement in front of you. But no other barriers arise on your way to the bank building.
We better walk faster.
Hustle. We hustle.
We hustle. This is surely where so otherworldly force has tapped into the lines and not just some other way. This is how technology works.
So what level is the operator on?
It's on the second floor.
But they said they haven't been making call or connecting anybody all day, so maybe it's something with their machinery.
Maybe.
Well, it's a good thing that me and Maurice know how to electrically repair things, so maybe we can figure out what's actually going on.
Yeah. All right, let's head on up. And wait, guys, are we gonna visit the river after this?
Yes.
Of course.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay, I
You
just
get a
don't
really
wanna,
good view, you know?
I just don't want to waste a lot of time with this, but
We
I
will
get-
try
I
to
feel-
resolve this as quickly as possible.
I feel like
It's
this is
very helpful.
I feel like it's very, very important to you, so I'll do this, and then I'll get to doing my thing.
Well, it's just a quick pit stop. It's all it is, Maurice.
Okay, that's cool.
Cool.
I go up.
Yeah, I think you don't see anything weird on your way in unless you go. So ground floor opens up a little bit of a kind of hallway, some stairs going up, and then the bank is through some double glass doors on your left. So you don't have to like go through the bank, but I mean, you could go into the bank if you want to, but the staircase is in that hallway.
I think we'll take the staircase rather than try to,
Cool.
I don't know, rob a bank or what.
Well, I was going to say, you don't see anything unfortunate and potentially sanity breaking because you don't go into the bank. Yeah,
okay.
so you go up to the second story. I think you do hear there's a number of offices up here. I think as you pass one of them, you see that the kind of wavy glass in the door is splattered with something dark from the inside. And maybe there's a little pool of something slowly making its way out.
Yeah.
Something.
Just don't look at it.
Maple
Just
syrup.
keep going
Fine.
towards where the
I'm going.
machines are.
Stay on target.
Yeah.
Yes.
But there it is, telephone company.
Just walk right in.
Mhm.
Not even gonna knock. Just try to open up the door and walk in.
The door's locked.
Hey, Maurice,
Yeah?
can you do me a favor?
What's that?
Can you kick this door in real quick?
Oh yeah, I could do that. That seems like a really easy job. I kicked the door in.
Cool. Give me a strength.
Just straight up strength. That's also very good. 24. That's a hard success.
Yeah, I think you kick the door in.
I go hi.
Yeah. So, there's an office, and then there you see a sign to switchboard. In the office are 3 women who are kind of curled, like in a corner, and it looks like they've pulled some furniture nearby. And as soon as the door busts open, you hear women scream. And I think a stapler comes flying out from behind there at Maurice's head.
This one I'm gonna dodge.
It's fine.
Okay.
It just whizzes over your shoulder. With a 95, I think
Oh.
you're okay.
I rolled a 4.
Okay. Okay. It whizzes towards you. You just catch it. And then set it down on the desk. And
What's
then
happening?
screaming, "Leave us alone! Leave us alone!"
We're here to help.
Maybe one head pops its head. Pin curls. What? Oh, I thought you were that horrible Mr. Johnson from down the hall. He was at the door. He was saying the most awful things to us.
Awful things like what?
well, like he was gonna kill us and then do stuff after, like eat us or something. I don't know.
Oh, that's terrible.
Everyone's been really strange today.
Absolutely
Yes,
true.
we've seen that as well.
Which way is the equipment?
She kind of points. Says, something's going on back there. Eloise, you recognize this voice?
Gossip friend.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good to meet you, considering the circumstances are terrible, by the way. It's me, Eloise. Thanks for connecting me earlier. We've just had a day, haven't we?
Oh, no. All the equipment is down.
The equipment is... son of a gun.
Yeah.
Someone's
Okay.
been impersonating you this entire time.
Yeah, we haven't been able
How
we
long-
haven't we've been waiting for a repairman to come.
Since this morning?
Well, I assume it all got fried last night during that terrible storm.
Wasn't it terrible, though?
It
Just
was.
a lot of thunder.
I heard
Just-
Mrs.
just
Johnson's
awful
cabbage
storm.
patch got completely ruined.
It
So you
did
said
get
that there was
completely
something-
ruined.
There was
This is-
something wrong. There's something going on over there in the equipment room.
Well, no, everything's all sparking and there's no light, and it's obvious that everything's broken, and I mean there's a lot of electricity and stuff. We're not going to just go in and start flipping switches. We might get shocked.
Okay, but there's nothing weird other than the equipment not working. We could go look at it.
Well, I mean, stepped in and could tell everything was messed up, and then we called the repairman. I'm sure he'll be here any minute.
We're here now.
Well,
The door was locked, and we didn't realize that it was a big thing, so we just kind of came in.
come to
This
think
is
of it,
John and Maurice, we're here to repair your equipment.
well,
Just like I said, it was kind of strange that the door was locked, so we just kind of forced it open a little bit. We thought it was jammed.
come to think of it, how did we call the repairman if the switchboard's down?
Dun, dun, dun.
But you're here, so I guess I don't know.
It worked
You look like a.
out.
Is that oil all over your wrench?
Yeah, it's oil. It's for sure oil. Go
It's a
repair the
strange
switchboard.
color. You just kind of stand in front of them.
Definitely, it's oil.
Hey, don't worry.
Don't worry. Says person in white outfit having slipped in blood multiple times today.
I turned to John. It's like, John, this isn't a river.
It is.
And-
It's a river of money, and it's where we get paid. Come on.
My,
Um,
my,
I'm
my,
gonna-
my, my sense of social obligation requires that I do this. So.
Well, and I think
right.
I think you're starting to formulate an idea about like maybe there are other people that need to go into the river, like the people who are the trail of bodies that you left strewn behind you.
I have a car. I can deal with that later.
Maybe that'll be enough to keep your mother company. Gross.
I'm going to try to mechanically repair this device. I don't know.
Cool.
So I would try to help Maurice. Try to figure out.
Oh, I don't need help. Don't worry. Because apparently I rolled an 11, which is an extreme success. I just kind of whack it.
Well,
It's like
well,
fixed.
so you roll a little bit.
Sorry. Yeah.
What I
Sorry.
will say is, as you move beyond the front office to the door that says switchboard, you open it. There's no light on the inside, but there is like a single shaft of light coming from the light behind you. And you do hear sparking. And there's a sickly, almost sweet smell of sweet but acrid. Not what you would expect, Maurice, in terms of like burnt insulation or anything else. There's some other smell to it. A little bit like burnt plastic and barbecue.
Okay.
Would it be possible to investigate this room through an occult lens? Or does it
100%.
seem very...
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Mrs. Fung didn't used to believe in this sort of thing, but she's had some studies in the past. So she's going to look in with that in mind.
I'd say some interesting items coming in through the black market, etc.
So I rolled a 3,
Ooh.
um, which is definitely an extreme success.
An extreme
I might
success.
want to. You could spend 2 luck to get a crit, which is even just about the best thing you can get.
Literally.
Okay, I
Yeah.
could do
Yep.
that.
Cool. You spend 2
Okay.
luck to make it a crit. So, Mrs. Fung, you have something on you, some item that has an occult nature. So, what would that be?
Yes, it's a hairpin that I was gifted to me by my late husband.
Okay. So you get a little bit of goose flesh as you kind of peer between Maurice and John and look in that room, and you just get this sense. So you pull out that hairpin, and among its uses, it can function almost like a dowsing rod to point you toward things that are off. Like you used it a few times to detect forgeries, but it seems like it has potentially greater capabilities. And you can feel it in your hand just jerking in multiple directions into that room. It is telling you that there are either lots of little bad things in that room or one really big awful thing.
Mhm.
But so between you, John and Maurice, you see Mrs. Fung's little hand and then this jade hairpin just obviously, like you can see it moving of its own accord in her hand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mrs. Fung has this moment of kind of, well, it's never done that before. And I think we're very clearly at the source of whatever this is. There's something bad here. And she's just sort of turning around the room as her pin is sort of like moving around.
Yes. And then it jerks up in your hand, like almost hard enough to hurt your wrist, but jerks up towards the ceiling. And then kind of into that ray of light coming from the open doorway, which of course you're all kind of standing in the doorway. So it's just like the outlines around you of light. You see tendrils lowering down from the ceiling, little sparking ends, and then they click, click into sockets in the switchboard on either side of this kind of shoebox shaped room as this thing kind of pulls itself into the light. And then with its socket wire feet plugging into a series of switchboard sockets, just starts pulling itself towards you. What do you do?
John is going to attempt to just try to flick on the lights if they're not already on. If it's dark in there, he's just going to be like, we need to shed some light on the situation to see exactly what we're dealing with. So he's going to just kind of reach and try to like flick on maybe
Yeah.
like a light switch of some sort.
Yeah, you flick it, nothing happens.
Okay. If that's the case, then John's going to take a few steps back.
Cool. Maurice.
Maurice is gonna start cramming with old Crammy his monkey wrench.
So you're going to run in there?
Yeah, it's a clear and present danger to everybody else, and I need to protect people.
Cool.
Gonna kill me, I know it.
Maybe. Or worse.
Yeah.
Cool. So you're going to go in. I think it is going to fight back.
All right. Oh, a 96 is not a good roll.
It is not.
I'm going to use a major boon in this case.
Okay.
And then, yeah. A 70 is not an amazing roll, but that is exactly a success, I believe. Just a success.
Cool. All right. Then go ahead and roll damage.
All right. D8, D4. Hit. 5 damage.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you just wade in and kind of whack a big bundle of cables, and maybe a few of them are pulled out of the sockets. And they kind of trail little sparks from the edges for a moment and then snap back into sockets in the wall. Eloise.
It seems he wants to be socketed at all times.
Eloise.
I kind of assumed when they were first investigating the room, I was like trying to help the ladies re-secure the door in some fashion
Sure.
in case what's his name was coming down the hallway. Though I'm all like, oh, blood over there. I think he's gone. So probably at this point, turning around and be like, you got any water in here? Maybe we can fry it.
Oh.
That's smart.
Yeah, they'll point to a old-fashioned water cooler over in the corner.
Yeah.
They're glass at those times, so you just pick it up and huck it.
And then it's the hilariously comical scene of me going like, it's too heavy to lift, and then filling a cup of water while looking furtively over at the door.
Okay.
So
you fill a little paper cup of water.
a little paper cup of water. I'm like, any second, it'd probably be better if we could lift this up, but I could never. Stares at John, who isn't here, but when he's back.
Cool. Mrs. Fung, what you doing?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know how you fight tentacles, but gun seems like a good place to start. So I'm sort of fumbling with the dowsing rod hairpin, redrawing the weapon, and I'm gonna try to probably shoot at where the tentacles are in the socket.
Okay.
Give that a try. Have a 19, which is a hard success.
Excellent. Go ahead and roll it up.
Yep, I was right.
Just 2.
Cool. Well, you do shoot. You shoot like an area of the switchboard itself.
Yes.
And I think there are probably like 3 of its wire tentacles attached to sockets in the area. And with the damage from the bullet, it's like that chunk of the switchboard face comes out. And now is just kind of like dangling from these wires. And it seems like they're trying to disengage from it, but it can't.
Mm-hmm.
Just that, because it's all kind of under tension. There's some sort of mass in the center that, like, it appears to be maybe kind of heavy, because as soon as there was a little bit of damage, that whole chunk ripped free and is now like it's trying to shake it off like a cat with tape on its paw. Cool. John, you may have missed. Eloise is suggesting that something be done with the big water cooler, the big glass water bottle. And you're on mute.
So I did hear that. So John is going to probably trying to think of the best way to do this, because if it's like a big water jug, like in like a water cooler type of thing, obviously it doesn't have any pressure behind it. feel like he might just kind of just take the entire thing out of the water cooler and just kind of like splash it forward without really any good way to get it into the room.
I mean, it's just a strength roll to see if I mean, you're going to spill some of it if you want to take the glass water bottle off, but you can just lift that water bottle with a strength roll.
Just huck it at the machine.
I don't want to because obviously I want to splash it into the room. Like my mind is like a hose. You put your hand, like your thumb over like the top of the hose. Things like obviously you can't do that with like a water cooler.
Yeah, it's just a big glass jug of water, basically.
Yeah, just chuck it.
You think just chuck it? You think that might be the best thing to do? Just like chuck it against the wall and hopefully it breaks because it's glass?
I mean, it'll have an open end, right?
Oh, okay.
I'll tell you.
I'd say holding my paper cup of water.
I'll tell you, it'll be a strength to lift it, and then a throw to throw it.
Okay.
Throw.
Oh yeah. Let's see, what is my throw? Let's try it. Let's do it.
I knew you were the man for the job.
I got a backup plan, maybe.
So it's strength to lift it. So let's see if we can do that. That is a 43 over 40. So I'm gonna go ahead and use 3 luck points to make that succeed.
Yeah. Easy enough.
So I lift it, and then I'm gonna throw it at the wall to try to make it splash everywhere.
Okay.
So that is a 73 over 30.
Cool.
And we're just going to leave it at that.
Cool. So you carry it over and you go to throw it. It's like, but you've splashed a bunch. It's really slippery. So it's like you go to throw it, but mostly you just like drop it kind of at your feet. And there's this big crack splash as the glass breaks, and now there's this big puddle of water.
Awesome.
Maurice, you were in the room. I think some of these tentacles are going to come for you.
That's fair.
You got to dodge or fight back?
Let's see here.
No, this is Maurice, because Maurice is in the room.
Oh, I thought you were... Okay, me.
Let's see. I think I'm going to fight back because my stats are just better.
Cool.
A little metagaming. Also, he's in a rage. Blind rage, I imagine. As Quakers are often
didn't
known
know
to be.
Maurice is a barbarian. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a regular success for me.
54 is a regular success. Yeah.
Cool. I think it's going to stick you.
Okay.
You take 4 points.
Aye. I'm down to 9.
As one of the wire legs pops out of a socket and then just pops right into your solar plexus.
Oh, geez.
So some of that damage is from just the piercing of this wire, and some of it is electrical.
Oh my.
Yeah. You begin to hear voices.
Oh my. More?
Well, so I think oddly being currently insane is somewhat protective. I think you hear a chorus of voices. It's like you're listening in on the world's largest party line. It's a little bit hard to filter out, but the conversations that are going on are sinister and unpleasant. The few snippets that you catch. But I think your mother's voice overrides them all. Don't listen to them, sweetie.
I won't.
We've got some ne'er-do-wells that need to make it to the river.
That sounds like a great idea. I'll just deal with this first.
Sounds like it. That's my boy.
Thanks, Mom. So wholesome.
Yeah. But I mean, there's a lot going on inside Maurice's cranium at the moment. Not the least of which is this wire that's probably trying to worm its way deeper into you.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna.
Cool.
I'm gonna start whacking things when it's my turn.
Cool. Miss Fung, do you have a gun out still?
Yes.
All right. Then it's to you.
I'm gonna try to shoot this thing again.
Cool.
It's actually a 19 again. So,
Ooh.
Ooh.
yeah, that happens.
Cool. Are you just trying to center mass, or are you trying to shoot any particular spot?
Center mass this time, I think.
Cool. Roll it up.
5.
Yeah, you hit it, and there's I think all the tentacle wires kind of stiffen for a second. Maurice, you feel a jolt. Where you hit it, there's a moment, like flash of light. It's almost like a shell being cracked. There's a blue-white light that flashes in the room. It's enough that you can see this is huge. It takes up, like, the center mass is person-sized, but there are hundreds of these cables. Like, you have just been seeing the part that's illuminated by the little bit of light coming from the door. It fills this entire room. This is a massive creature. But it seems to greatly dislike being shot. So it kind of, after that momentary spasm and flash of light, it kind of pulls that central mass higher up into the room. And Maurice, you're kind of skidding, being pulled along with this wire attached to your midsection. It hasn't lifted you up in the air yet, but you're attached to it. Cool. John.
Well, seeing the flash of light, is there any like mirrors in this room at all?
I mean, you wouldn't know in the switchboard room, but sure, there's a mirror on the wall of the office.
Actually, I'm gonna look towards one of the women in the room and be like, "Do you guys have like a pocket mirror for like makeup?"
They're all.
We're busy.
they don't know what's going on, but 3 compacts are thrown at you.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to just take the mirror and just try to like shine light into the room and maybe see if I can't just like, maybe light is the issue, and then see if I can't like put light, like a light beam, like reflect light into the room towards the monster.
Sure. Let's just say you do. It's just this like writhing mass of black cables.
Mm-hmm.
You shine a beam of light, or you're able to aim it just right, so it kind of hits up towards that center mass. You're fairly certain there's a person underneath all that. Like, maybe you see a lock of hair or something, maybe little bits of cloth.
Okay.
But it doesn't seem to react poorly
Do the light.
I think everyone's gotten a good look at this thing now. I think it's probably a good time for a sanity check.
Ugh.
Ooh, that's a 3.
Cool. Take 1.
82.
That's a 7.
82.
Cool. Take 1 if you succeed.
Yeah, I got a 6. So
Wow. So
Wow.
you all take 1, and Maurice takes 4. The good news is you can't get any more insane at the moment.
Oh, good.
Hey, is that threshold for the percentage of your sanity based on in one go or overall for the session?
For the session.
Hey, I hit my threshold.
Yes.
It was 5, as
Yeah.
a side note.
Awesome. So seeing what you just saw, you've gotten a really good glimpse of this creature. What do we think this evokes in terms of a phobia, mania, obsession, some sort of long-lasting thing from Eloise?
Well, I love eggs. I love jewelry. What is this? This one is an egg with jewelry. If jewelry was electricity.
Right.
You like shiny things.
I'm gonna say maybe we go the opposite direction with this and go, since it is a bone monster, you actually are terrified of picking up the phone now.
No, my gossip line.
Totally out of character. I think you get a sense.
Or maybe the exception of being on the phone. You just always want to be on the phone.
How's that different?
Newfangled technology. Well, one of them I get gossip, and the other one I don't.
Yes.
Yes. I think maybe you have like this creature has all the goss.
It does. It can connect me to everything. Hold on. We got to get in there. Hold on. He's connected. I'm in it. All right. Connection. I see connection.
You got to get the hot goss.
Hot goss. Connection is what I'm to goss. That's good. Okay. On it.
Cool. Fantastic. So Miss Fung just shot. John just went to Maurice.
Sorry, there's a person in this thing?
Yeah.
What it looks like, yes.
Does it look
So-
like an innocent person? Maybe someone who needs help?
Probably so.
I'm going to try to help it. I'm trying to drag it out of the cacophony of tentacles. Because I'm like, God has told me that I must save these people.
Okay.
And Quakers are usually not that sort of person, but
Yeah, but
Maurice is
also-
under a lot of stress.
they also don't normally beat multiple people to death.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah, this might not be the biggest issue with the Quaker.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yes.
Fighting brawl, right?
Yes.
Or I don't know actually. What I'm
No, I think
Okay,
so.
let's
I mean,
get
you're effectively trying to grapple this thing and rip at it.
I'm going to use a major boon. I got a 71, which is close, but I want something definitive.
Okay. Gonna turn that into a 17?
Oh, that would be a good idea.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn that into a 17.
Cool.
And I'm going to spend 3 luck, if that's acceptable.
Yes.
Then it's an extreme success.
Cool. Max damage and other stuff will happen.
Well, it's grappling, so it's not really damage, is it?
Well, you're trying to get it out. I think this is going to do damage.
Well, then that's going to be 12 damage.
Yeah, I think so. So in the kind of wavering light that John is holding, plus just the ambient light from the doorway, you see Maurice reach up and grab the wire that is a cable that is like attached to his abdomen, and then just hand over hand pull up
Oh,
to the main portion, and then just reach in and grab a handful of wires and just start yanking.
Mm.
After the second or third pull, there's this bright light shining out. It is, and you 100% hear sizzling, like the sizzle of an arc.
Oh, this is going to hurt.
And what's your, well, the good news is you're not currently grounded because you're literally in the air. You maybe uncover, like you see a forearm, and that forearm is just sparking. There's just lots of arcs of electricity, like a Tesla coil almost.
Right. I grab it.
Cool. Yeah, you're trying to pull that person out. All right. Let's see. We went John, Maurice, Eloise.
Yep. I'll take my cool paper cup and just kind of drink that water, but store it in my cheek for later. Pull out my knife, go running in. some of these cables are attached to the wall, correct?
Yeah.
All right. I grab one and I spit the water into the socket that it's connected to.
Ooh.
So it will let go. Hopefully.
Okay.
That's my plan.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know how electricity works. So
I think it's very clever. I think I would like you to dodge.
let's see. There it is. Well, that's an 89. So
Want to do something about that?
oh, I kind of want to be taken into the system. So
Okay.
whichever way it happens, I think.
Well, so I think you spray a mouthful of water just onto the switchboard itself. And there's immediately a big arcing reaction. And then that section of the switchboard just explodes towards you. You're going to take a little shrapnel damage of 3
Tasty.
as some chunks of wood and brass kind of embed themselves in your flesh. But you have its attention. Would you like
come to me, Cable.
Would you like to dodge
Come to
or
me.
fight back as some cables come down?
I mean, none. I guess dodge so it goes to the right spot.
Okay.
I seek the connection, but like maybe less painful than his connection.
Yes.
That's a 71 over 40.
Cool. Yeah, it is for sure going to hit you. And I think it's going to hit you in the temple.
Ooh, exciting.
And your brain is immediately flooded with all the hot goss.
Ah, the hot goss. I've trained my whole life for this.
You take 3 more.
Goo.
All right. Top of the round, Mrs. Fung.
Yeah, so I think I'm at my last piece of ammo at this point. So this will be my last shooting rendition, I think. So we have some wires connected to Eloise's head
And to Maurice's.
and to Maurice's
Yeah.
torso.
Yeah.
And Maurice is in the air, pulling
And
down
has ripped a hole in this writhing mass of wires.
massive
And you can now
wires.
see like part of a person there. He's trying to pull this person
He's
out.
trying to pull this person out.
Yeah.
Is there? I mean, I guess what I'm just trying to figure out, is there something that there's like a clear shot of, or
Well,
like a pretty large thing?
there's a clear shot of Eloise. There's a clear shot of Maurice.
Okay,
You have
fair.
a clear shot on the person on the inside, and then there's just the writhing mass, which is the largest target.
Okay, I think we're just trying to shoot at the writhing mass because I think Maurice is trying to acquire the person.
You could give
or-
me an occult roll.
Okay. Regular success.
So what Maurice is pulling out is, I mean, first of all, observation. There's a lot of electricity. And just from the color and the burning on the skin, that person is,
Super dead.
yeah. But does appear to be containing something. Like, does appear to be, like, you just get an instinct that person is the locus of whatever's going on. And if you want it to stop, removing the vessel might be a good way to do that.
Okay. I'm I direct my target at that, I think, then.
Yeah. So maybe Maurice pulls a little bit more. There's
Yeah.
now part of a person hanging out.
Yeah. And that's where I'm trying to aim my last bullet.
Cool. You can. We haven't done this. You can spend a minor action to aim, which would give you a bonus die.
Oh, that's cool. Wait, so,
Oh.
okay. How does spending using that work?
So you get a minor and major action per turn. We tend to abstract
Okay.
it to keep it more fluid,
Okay.
but in this case, like you literally said, I'm going to aim. So
Mhm.
so Ms. Fung
Okay.
stops and steadies. It has this like moment of occult analysis and realization, and then shifts from aiming at the thickest portion of the mass to aiming directly at the individual that Maurice is pulling out.
Mhm.
So give yourself a bonus die.
Cool. So this would just be an additional.
Additional D10, take the lower.
Okay.
I did not know that.
So that will be a 17.
There you go. Roll that damage.
Six.
All right. So a couple of things happen. You shoot at the kind of exposed side of a torso. So Maurice is pulling on the arm, so there's a little bit of shoulder and like ribs showing, a little flowery print dress. You shoot there. There is an immediate flash of light, like a lightning strike, coming from where you shot them into the floor. And then kind of just spraying arcs of light as that hits the water on the ground. I think Eloise is like thrown a bit to one side, like slams up against the far wall as all these tendrils and tentacles begin to shake. Maurice is busy pulling and is able to pull this person out, to Maurice's sad realization. She has been dead for a while, at least a couple of hours, very clearly, and lots of like zap marks and burns. But whatever was in her is now out. There's this lightning strike. Instead of just, flashing and then going away, it's sitting there wavering in the air. Eloise, would you give me a power roll?
Sure. Uh, 96 is what I got.
Cool.
I think if there was ever a time to.
You think I shouldn't take that one?
No,
That
I
really
don't-
high one? I'll use a major boon and re-roll.
Oh, okay.
78. Just a normal failure.
Okay.
All right. Cool. I think the quivering lightning form just dances across the wet floor and into Eloise. I think the cables drop. I think there's a thud as the body that Maurice is pulling out hits the floor, and then Maurice hits the floor, and then just this like slithering, slapping sound as all the cables go limp, a few of them pulling themselves out of the socket as they fall. There's now just this mass of cable in the center of the floor. Eloise, you are in kind of a white, featureless space. You know somehow that it is an interior landscape, like you are in your mind. You are not, however, alone. There is a presence, alien, unfathomable, but also somewhat childlike. Give me psychology.
That's 25 under 47. So success.
Yes. As you feel this light on your psyche, it carries with it a feeling, like a physical feeling and also an emotion or mental state. It's difficult to describe, but it is simultaneously a deep hunger, like a physical hunger, but also curiosity. Like those two things are occurring simultaneously. And there's something in your addled mind that finds commonality. Like your insane desire for all the hot gossip is somehow not identical to, but similar to whatever this presence feels. So, what do you think Eloise does when there is a vast intellect, but that's also kind of like a child that seems to be hungry for all the gossip?
For all the gossip. Well, it's time to dish, as they say. And so we should talk.
Cool.
Well, I'll talk.
Yes.
We'll sit in the chairs that appear, because we're inside. And
Yes.
There should be chairs, an office, and a tea.
Yes.
For me, I don't know what they drink. This vast. I don't make much eye contact, if that's even a thing you can do in your mind.
I think as two comfy chairs and a little tea set manifest, and you sit down and you begin to dish. Well, I heard 6 months ago, so-and-so, this arcing cloud of electricity with like two slightly glowing spots, just kind of, that seems larger than the universe, kind of shrinks itself down and then like hovers over the other chair. So in a flash of a moment, Eloise goes into her gossip mind palace. And what the rest of you see is just like Eloise standing there, sparks of electricity all around her, little singeing of the hair, and then that cable that had embedded itself in her temple pops out, little trickle of blood. Cool. What happens?
Do I still want to go to the river?
I mean, I think you probably want to get rid of the bodies in the river.
I think I'm going to go do that.
Eloise? Eloise, are you okay? As I approach, I'm not going to touch her, though.
You hear that, Eloise?
Oh, I do?
Yeah.
But I'm also in the Gossip Mind Palace.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm fine. It's great.
Okay. Are you hurt?
Yes. There was some electricity, I think.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, electricity.
She doesn't seem to be affected by any electrical burns to a significant degree.
Just a little bit around the temple and maybe a few on the lower legs from where the arcs had zapped up.
I mean, you'd know if something was really going wrong.
I'd say we should get you to a doctor, but that is problematic.
Yeah, he is 100% overdosed on the floor. So he's dead.
Obviously, he committed suicide after doing all the murders, and it wasn't for anything else. Obviously.
Guys, I'm going to go get my car, and I'm going to go deal with some bodies. And then I think I'm going to go back into therapy. Yeah.
That sounds nice. Go ahead. Drive safe.
Okay.
Tell me how it
Anyways,
goes.
Thanks for helping me. I'm going to go now.
As Maurice
Yeah,
just,
everyone's just like, well, let's go. It's time to leave now.
yeah. So I think you've.
Oh, and I turned to the office girls. It's like, this looks like at least a 2-day job. Sorry, I'll be back.
Cool. So Maurice spends some time. You do see as you kind of make your way through Arkham, there are a few people who are just kind of like wandering outside and looking around. They seem disoriented. Some of them have wounds. Some of them don't. I mean, it's the only people you see out are people who seem kind of disoriented, and maybe you see one person who is clearly perfectly aware and is freaked out and seems to be wanting to avoid any contact with anyone. John, what are you doing? But yeah, you can go get your car and pull it up and tidy up the doctor's office.
Ugh.
I would not go with Maurice. And at this point, watching the thing get sucked into Maurice, probably wouldn't go near her either. I think John might just wander back off to home by himself. Kind of just one of those, I didn't get hurt. I am still mentally sane. I'm going to go ahead and go home.
The
I
real
did that.
winners here.
Yes.
The only thing truly injured was trust.
Yes.
Yes. Mrs. Fung.
Yeah, I think Mrs. Fung is of a similar mind. I think she might make sure that Eloise is capable of leaving this place.
Oh, if you all start leaving, I think Eloise will just start wandering home, say, oh,
Okay.
yeah, I need to get home.
Okay.
There's so much to do.
And I am so sure that Maurice is gonna handle those bodies. That's not my business. That's fine. I am also going home to my antique shop.
The two criminals are like, nah.
No.
I'm not getting involved with the police. I'm not doing body removal.
It's 3 criminals now.
Right. So I mean, you're all criminals. But
Yeah.
so we have a kind of a wide shot of the front of the bank as the double doors open and you all kind of file out and just kind of wander off in different directions. Get a quick shot of Maurice just pulling the car up to the body he left lying in the middle of the street, tossing it in the trunk. And then I think maybe a little bit later, another shot of one of the bridges over the Miskatonic as you just like toss the bodies in.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some people, but they seem to be out of it enough. You're not really worried about them being able to give testimony about you later. Miss Fung goes back to the antique store and probably goes inside, locks the front door, puts the closed sign on, and then maybe sits and has a little bit of tea in the back room, a little bit wide-eyed. Eloise is fine.
Doing great.
I mean, you're super possessed.
Yes, but I have someone I can tell about the body in the basement now. No problem. Who's
Yes.
this gonna tell?
You have the fact that you have spent the majority of your adult life collecting the juiciest gossip is, for now, enough to keep your new friend entertained. A few days later, as often happens when weird occurrences happen in Arkham, the newspaper is full of, reports of people who were injured in the storm, reports of people who apparently were trying to leave town during the storm and accidentally fell off the bridge and hit every rock on the way down. Like, just the kind of collective consciousness of Arkham decides that this is some sort of something that happened as a result of a terrible freak storm. If one turns a few pages, there is an article of scientific nature. The Miskatonic University Observatory had noted some strange astronomical phenomena sort of immediately before the storm, resembling an aurora almost, but although you're not at a latitude what one would expect an aurora. And there is some speculation that the intensity of the electrical storm might have been the result of a passing gas cloud in Earth's orbit, that some strange radiation may have altered the weather. There's probably some gossip, Eloise, that a few of the astronomy students had reported that the kind of faintly glowing, sparking cloud seemed to move in an odd way, like not almost as if it changed direction as it got close to the Earth's atmosphere. But, that's just good gossip. And I think you're all fine.
Yay!
As Maurice is sitting in his little apartment
By the river.
With your mother, who now kind of shows up whenever she wants to. Sometimes you can see her, sometimes you don't. Ms. Fung keeps feeling that jade hairpin, kind of just like every once in a while just jerking in the back of your head as it responds to strange things all around you. John, of course, is totally fine. Just thinking about the next place to burgle.
Well, then, as on his way home, he stopped and got his cheeseburger.
There you go.
Absolutely.
We
There
haven't
you go.
eaten all day.
Yeah, we haven't eaten all day. Got out of the hospital. This is what I wanted to
Occasionally, with your
Got sidetracked.
sore jaw.
Yeah.
And Eloise now just enjoys. You get to gossip 24/7.
24/7. Surely I won't run out. Nothing bad will happen when I do.
Well, you'll have to get more, won't you?
Yes. I might maybe make some more.
Yeah. So, hey, that was very successful.
Two people are
Hooray.
actually saying, I think. That's pretty good.
Yeah, two people are saying no one almost died. How far did you get down, Maurice?
9 out of 13. So
Yeah.
not bad.
Oh, I had only 4 hit points left.
Okay.
But, it's fine.
Look,
I don't have many
sanity,
to start with. That's like 4 out of 10. So,
Okay.
sanity's not looking so hot, but hey, I think I have more than Eloise. I'll be fine.
yeah, I have 22, which is enough to get by in these trying times.
27.
Yes, you've all
I'm good for
You've all done very well. So, I think, aside from permanent insanity and possession, which will carry over into the next story, I think everyone did great.
Hooray.
Awesome. So, let's do that thing. Let everyone know who you are and where they can see you next and stuff and any shout outs you want to make. Let's start with you this time, Misha.
All right, I am Nisha _ less than 3 here on Twitch. I don't think I'm actually going to be playing in the next couple games, as it turns out. But I'm usually around here at some point or on the Juices TV program doing mod things. So you can find me there. Looking, you should go to the Discord for C+ content because we're looking to do a different, the Old Gods of Appalachia.
Ooh.
Yeah, so there's going to be a limited series run on that. So I think we're looking for a few more players. So if that sounds interesting, it's like this, only Appalachia, I think.
Yes.
So I think that is all. Mel?
All right, I'm Mel, the Melbot on Twitch. I'll be at the Thursday game of this coming up. Shanks.
Oh, hey, I'm Shanks Master General. I was playing Maurice Church. I'm actually planning on streaming a bit now, mostly just playing Celeste. It'll be a temporary thing, so you can find me at twitch.tv/Shanks Master General. If you want to support me further, you can support my band, The Dreadnoughts, DREADNOUGHTS, and that's on Spotify and anywhere that's streaming, I believe. And that's about it. And I also think I'm going to be playing some games. I forget. I'm not sure which ones, but we'll have to see. Villain.
I am your only villain or Vil. Depends on which channel you go to. I get a lot of nicknames. I was playing John Doe. You can find me over at the Juices TV program and here on C+ content. Zero?
Awesome. Yeah, and I've been Zero Daylight or Michael or GM or DM or narrator or keeper of arcane lore in this system. This has been another loosely connected story in our Call of Cthulhu series. Thanks everyone for playing, and thanks everyone for joining, and thanks Mike for the raid. That was lovely. We'll be back with a little bit more Call of Cthulhu. We'll find out the not horrific consequences of Eloise's possession by an intelligence from beyond the stars that just wants all the hot goss. I'm sure that won't cause any difficulties moving forward. So let's say goodbye to our friends here on YouTube, and then we'll come back and raid out on Twitch. So bye, everybody.